Terrific old first bounce. The Bay over. It's a cool day here. We'll warmish up in the grandstand. You'll see big Thornborough for the Bays. Big number 6 there against Fogden, who's done pretty well for them. They'll need to get a good start today, West Adelaide. Bounce down. Thornborough goes his direction. Good tap away. Oh, coming through hard there was Rubinick. That's a good take. Handball's wide. They'll get out of it through Kretschmer. A funny looking kick floats into the forward lines. No one can grab it there. Woosnam for West Adelaide with a chance. He can't get it. They go back over it and the clearing kick goes wide to the outer side of the ground. The Braves with a chance. 2 players there. Heavy tackle. Play allowed to go on. With a run through the centre, good handball and a long kick into attack from the Bays into the goal square. West Adelaide from behind knocking it away there, and that was number 27, Coghill. The player just mentioned it, through for the minor score.
Yeah, great start by the Glenelg side. They're pretty aggressive, pretty quick with the hands at the moment. They are throwing around and sharing, which is good to see. You see them setting up their zone defence at the moment, but a good start by Glenelg.
Coghill mark on Brad Ottens.
Yes, I mean, Bradley Ottens, as I said before, has been very high in the best players in all 3 games. They just need to be able to stop him because he is at his early age of only 17, which just turned 17, he's a match winner.
Carlson's got it, has he? He goes long for West Adelaide. Centre wing, grandstand side, well-placed kick, and that's Dempsey to mark. He's got a lot to do today. Does that well. Good kick. Oh, and there, that's a heavy knock there. Going down, I think it was Barrett.
It started again. There's plenty of feeling. We saw last time these 2 sides matched, there was an all-in brawl, but you can just see here, it was a fair bump. It was that player that impresses me, is that Mark Visca. That's what the Adelaide Crows need, someone like him to come out and ruffle a few feathers, but they're still going at the moment. There's plenty of feeling out there. No love lost between these 2 sides.
Well, it's on Visca. Well, that's it. I agree with your comment today. I feel level. He does it all the time. Straight through the player with the ball. That's the way to earn him. He's done it well, the kid. He's got up. He's a little bit, Chris Barrett's a little bit sore, but he's up on his feet.
We might have another look at it. Bang, that's a hip and shoulder. Chris Barrett is as tough as nails. Now,
what's going on here?
No, there must have been something in the melee that resulted in a 50-metre penalty, because I don't think there's certainly not a free kick in that.
There's a certain goal here. No one's staying the mark. The player could just run right in if he wanted to now. But behind play, you see Brooke Fulton just throwing his weight around.
Chris Barrett there lining up now. He'll kick from point-blank range up to the school end of the Bay Oval. He should put this through. He's good the lads up, but didn't hurt him. It was a hip and shoulder. There's a lot of pushing. Oh, there's some thumping going on behind the play there. They're still not happy. It didn't look too bad from up here, but I'm not down there taking the bump. But Chris Barrett has put the Bays on the board. They go to 1-1, and West Adelaide get the score.
You see here plenty of pushing and shoving. Not too many actual fists thrown in there, but plenty of pushing and shoving. You see Barrett just lining up here. 15 metres out and puts it straight through the middle to bring up the first score for the West Adelaide side for the afternoon.
Pretty good start by them, and they'd need that.
Sorry, Gary, down on the boundary line. Rob Popplestone, there's an interchange already.
DB, there has been one change already, but more importantly, there was a report in that incident, and I think you'll find Mark Visca was reported by umpire Richard Williams.
What do you reckon for?
I think it was for a late charge, but it was a fairly dubious one, and I think he might be safe.
Well, we're sitting up here from the grandstand, Gary. Didn't look too bad.
Oh, it didn't look bad from here, but don't ask me about umpires. They never know, because that's good, strong footy for as far as I could see. Barrett, might have been something else that happened, but you've got to let this stuff go. Barrett protect himself, and the lads got up and gone on with the play. It's Mellor now for West Adelaide. He should kick this. He's a lovely left foot kick, gets onto it, puts it out in the right place. Every time you say that, he's missed. It's offline. It's through for the minor score. Westies 1-1, Glenelg 1 point.
Mark Greg Mellor there at full forward this afternoon.
They're going to rely on him, aren't they?
They'll have to. I mean, they're going to win today's game. Greg Mellor needs to kick at least 4, 5, possibly 6 goals.
Well, Scott Simmons to kick 50 to be the club's leading goal kicker last year. Woosnam with 47. Mellor with 32 came in third. That's a nice mark taken out there. And that is King.
new players in this Bay side, all of AFL side.
Just had to check the new haircut, Gary.
Thornborough grabbed it. They'll need him out there, David, won't they? Thornborough, as he drives long into attack. It's off hands to the front of the pack. Bay's going hard after it, can't get in there. Plenty of body in there. They won't get that clear. There'll be a bounce down at centre half forward on the 50-metre line for the Glenelg side. Big Thornborough, one of the ones coming back from the AFL. Richmond, I think, was his last club. And
St Kilda before that.
St Kilda before that. He's a tall man.
Big fellow, all in the air from behind. Thogden thumps it down. Loose ball falls. Brebner goes hard over the top of it. Little fella in there, 34, was Joshy Pearce, crashing through Bannock. He couldn't get through. Joshy Cotton got his head pulled off and he picks up a free kick. Little rookie, have a look at him. There's not much of him, Mark. You'd know about this.
There's a couple of players out there this afternoon, fellas. One is 55 and Joshua Cotton, who's got the ball. No, he hasn't got the ball at the moment. That player there is Rob Bottas. It's the player we spoke about before today's game. But young Pearce, you also mentioned before, he's only 16 years old.
Yes, Rombotis puts in long and it's a big mark taken. It's been paid too, if you don't mind. It's Ottens.
My player.
Yes, he's different without the long hair. And this is, you asked about him, Gary, earlier. He's big, he's rangy, has a magnificent pair of hands and takes a fabulous mark.
How was that? That was brilliant, because I was waiting for you boys to tell me about it. That's him. I tell you what, he was well above the pack there and did it easy, like plucking cherries. He just pulled it out of the air.
Still a school kid as well.
Never plucked cherries, Gary, but he certainly look at those hands. And he kicks pretty straight generally. He'll kick from about 25 out on a 45-degree angle. Lines it up nicely, just chips away, stabbed at that one and pushed it off to the right. Perhaps he needs a bit of work on the follow-through. He just jabbed at that one. And it's a point. Glenelg are on the board. They're 1 point. West Adelaide 1-1.
Certainly good attacking movement. If I tell you what, he's a tall player, it'd be hard to combat down there, and he's certainly do a good job. Needs to kick straighter as the kick out goes long to centre half back. The Flyers are all there, knocked away intelligently at the back. McCulley's got a chance from behind the pack. Does it well. Handball's wide to Visca. He can't get it. Goes back over now. Met high. And he'll get a free kick on the centre wing outer side of the Bay Oval. He'll kick long. Not much movement down there. A lot of players. So he just pops it wide. And that's good enough to come off to the half back line. He'll kick long. Another long rangy player. They've got a few of them in the base. Gigney, is it? He looks good too. Oh, it's come through hard from behind. Wisdom reads its best off the pack. Gets it away to Carlson. He comes wide to centre wing. Race for the ball there. They try to get it clear. Well done. Good handball away there by Thompson. Out of trouble, but that's kicked out on the full. And that'll allow West Adelaide to have the free kick on centre wing. Comes right into the centre half forward to Ed Richardson. He can't mark it. Off hands. Tackled high. That'll be a free kick to West Adelaide. And that'll be Matthew Connell.
Matty Connell flicks it out to Barrett, who's recovered. Out to Fogden. The best and fairest from last year is replicating that form today. He's already been in the thick of things. 33 pushing it forward is Nathan Eagleton. Young Crow, he's kicked it. He's got it. What a beaut goal. West Adelaide's build-up was fantastic. They pushed it wide and they had all the space.
Very good build-up from the wing. I saw the ball go out of bounds, but good movement through the centre. Matty Connell started, got it across to Fogden. He just chipped it up over the top there to Eagleton, and he finished with the goal. That brings up their second for the afternoon, and they've got a pretty handy lead so early in the game.
Nice to see the good finish, wasn't it, Eagleton? And that was brilliant.
But look at the slackness of the checking.
Yeah, that's what they've got to watch the Bays. Yeah, that was slack. And that's a good finish, though, at the end of it to finish off with a great goal for West Adelaide. Back in the centre. Eagleton kicked his first goal, number 33 for West Adelaide. One of the young champions coming up in the SANFL. Bounce down. Big McCulley there. Fogden always got to wait for it. Does well, the big fella, to get it away. They kick it out of the centre, which is good, into the centre half forward area. Coming out hard. Glenelg in front. That was well done there by Visca, was it?
Paul King.
Kicks it wide to the outer side of the ground. It's out of play, centre wing.
Good crowd here at Glenelg Oval. We're 8 minutes into the first term. The action on ABC Sports. Stay with us. We are live from 2 to 5 every Saturday. Of course, Anzac Day, we're 2:30 to 5:30. With live action. Stay with us. Andriski goes to ground, holds the ball in the area, and there'll be a bounce.
So the winner is favouring the end that Glenelg is kicking, which left the screen.
They're not as hard at the ball, other than Visca, who's really thrown himself at a couple of opponents. Glenelg aren't anywhere near as hard as they were in the opening match against Central District. I think that was their calling card that day, Mark, wasn't it? They really pummeled the opposition and belted the life out of them.
And you saw the start of the 1994 season when young Tony Simons took over the club. We saw the first night game at Football Park, and they played that sort of football just 2 weeks ago.
Against Port Adelaide.
That was better by McCulley. Fogden's been winning in the ruck then, but McCulley then took another angle, come hard over the top, knocks it out of play, centre wing on the outer side of the ground. Footy Wood videos, if you need them, get them from the ABC shop. Ring on 8343 4601. Glenelg 2 points, trailing West 2-1 as the Bays can't get out of that. Oh, that's a good kick. Finds Wisdom. He'll go into attack for the Bloods. It's long, it's hard, it's a beautiful kick on Mello down there. Has done well. He's run onto that beautifully, made position on his opponent and went into the pocket.
Yeah, good work there, Gary. Wasn't by West Adelaide again. They just seem to be lifting their eyes as they're coming forward. They're looking for a player either in the lead or a player who is loose. But that game was a great setup, starting from the half-back line, which is what every coach would like to see.
Mellor is a damn good player. He certainly is. Let's see with his left foot kick this time. Usually puts a lot of effort into it, puts it on. It's a hard kick today. That wind just taking away across the face of goal. Plenty of good players have missed from there on the Bay Oval, and West Adelaide get another minor score. West 2-2, Glenelg 2 points.
Mellor 2 points. Brooks from full back. He stepped over the line. The umpire has seen it, Richard Williams. Now, that's part of the problem about a wingman kicking off, Mark. Just not used to it.
That's a good comment. That is a good comment, David McKay. They do that too much nowadays. Sorry to answer for you, Mark. I get annoyed with those things because they have anyone kick off nowadays. They don't even know the rules of kicking off.
Well, the rules are if you have your landed foot across the line, the field umpire will bring it back and bounce it on the 10-yard line. Thompson thumps it down to Gigney, stolen away by Brooks. Now he distributes to the outer side, going for the safety of the boundary line. Obviously couldn't find an opponent. Connell first man there, but the ball beats him across. And a very good crowd as we're live from Glenelg Oval on ABC.
I thought the Bays would really start off, they did with that bit of a kerfuffle there when Visca went straight through him, but then it's been as dead as a doornail. Westies are just setting up their play against a slight breeze at the Bay Oval. Bounce down outer side of the ground, trying to get it clear as Bannock. He hasn't been in it yet, throws it wide. Out to Eagleton with a chance for Westie, goes hard at it, can't do it. The Bays also there, it's out of play. Throw it between centre wing and left half forward flank for the West Adelaide side. They're going to the school end, the southern end of the Bay Oval in this first oval. It's only a slight the breeze here, but you would think the scoring end would be the way the Bays are going. Throw in. Big Symes in there. He's been pretty good for him. Gets it down. The kick away from Dempsey. Goes into the half forward line. A lot of battling for position there. Hard running through there, but West Adelaide into attack. Miller in front again. Runs out onto it. He's playing very well. The lad there will have to get in front of him. Number 2 on this occasion was Michael Raiders.
Dempsey was good, Mark, wasn't he?
Yeah, very exciting, Dempsey. I was speaking to, we've got a few players, people in the crowd today. We've got John Reid, the operations manager. So we've got Malcolm Blight out here also. I was having a word to Reedy. Pretty impressed with young Dempsey.
Kick this, Mellor. He's done wonderful things in this first quarter for West Adelaide. They're putting on a good lead. They did it last week. That's straight over the umpire's head. The left footer's done it again. Terrific goal for West Adelaide. And they go to 3-2, letting Glenelg 2 points, and that's a second for Mellor.
That's his first, Gareth.
Oh, I thought he'd kick one before.
Kicked a couple of points.
Yeah, he did too.
See a good build-up here. King coming through hard and aggressive. He just puts his body on the line. And we just see Dempsey just puts the ball in the air. A little bit of luck involved in this, but he was in front. Now with 4-4, they're in front. Gives them half a chance to take a mark.
Mellor 1 goal 2 as West Adelaide advanced to 3-2. Glenelg got 2 points, and they face the prospect of fading if West Adelaide get the next goal. So it's important for the Tigers that they get it out of the centre and get one. Chigwitten's kick was smothered. Richardson went through. Bannock thumps it out wide. Now Eagleton, hurried kick under pressure from Burke, and it goes wider still. It was very good pressure, and the ball ends up across the line and out of play. Now the game today being played out at Norwood Oval. Of course, Norwood and South, it's the Redlegs by 16 points.
Outer side of the ground, the throw-in will take place. Beautiful conditions at the Bay Oval for this very important game for West and the Bays. The kick away goes to centre wing, but always in front, and they're doing well down. Wisdom's playing half-back for West Adelaide this year and doing well. Reads that well, plays on quickly, tries to centre the ball. It's in the right position. Coming out, another heavy bump. He's already taken one.
Barrett again. He's already taken one.
Yes, he looks all right.
Another one.
He's not a bad player, this lad. I saw a bit of him last year, and he looked pretty good. Hesitant. I don't like that in a player. I'd rather get on it quickly. Mellor goes now, but the Bays will all get in there, and Visca does that well, just drops across into the centre half-back position, and he gets a penalty now for the player going over the mark.
He's got a few players worried about him.
Well, I know what they do then. Them young lads, like Eagle, they should have learned better. Don't ever go Visca. He's the last one I pick on. He's nice and he's pretty tough.
He's pretty relaxed about it all, isn't he? kickers wide. Look at this, Benny Thompson down from centre half back, 55 out. Chips it short. He is immaculate in his disposals. Rombotis on the lead. Now, you just wonder about Thompson.
I question the mark. I mean, I question when a player does it. Go short like that. And Thompson then had an idea. I mean, he had a chance then to put the ball in the goal square, but he's found Rombotis, which is only about 15-20 metres in advance, but very, very tight in the pocket.
In fairness, Mark, Rombotis wouldn't know the abilities of Thompson. Thompson could have actually lobbed that right through the middle, but Rombotis called for it. And I think a new player like that, you try and bring him into the game and you give him a kick. And I think, in fairness to Thompson, he probably had that thought process to bring Rombotis into the game.
He wouldn't have kicked many goals at the bar with Rombotis. Oh, I thought he was in trouble.
Plays on, goes around, tries to bend it around. It'll lob right in the square. The big fly. Oh, look at Otten's going through. And it's Scripps. No, it's Pearce.
It's Pearce, the young fella.
It's Pearce, and the goal umpire looks at it and says, I like it. Confers again with the field umpire and says, was it touched? If it's not, it's a goal, and if it's touched, it's a point. And it's, well, now, I don't know what's going on there. He should have delivered touched. Don't you? You've got to say touched. It's either a goal or it's touched through for a point.
Touched all clear.
Touched all clear.
They may just want to check with the umpire whether it was touch.
Wisdom's got that ball. He's marked it on the half-back line, getting kicks in this first quarter for the Bloods. He drives it long, grandstand side, up in front. Mark not paid, comes to ground. They try to get it clear. Good handball away. Over to Dempsey. He drives to centre wing. No one there, but it's all Glenelg. And that'll be taken there by Burke, Alistair Burke. He goes, oh, that's a shocking kick. Gives everyone a chance at that. It bounces awkwardly out there. The West Adelaide side with a chance. Fogden does well, but it's ripped off him as he went past. Pack of players form again a bounce down. A few errors there to be bounced down on centre wing, outer side of the ground.
Nathan Eagleton, only 18. Two possessions already. And one goal. He's been prominent, hasn't he? Bannock is 28. 20 is Rombotis for the Tigers. And McCulley takes it out of the ruck. Off to Burke. It was a throw, said the umpire. Well, what do you reckon?
A bit hard to see from up here. The umpire was close, but would you believe, wasn't the umpire actually in the actual scene itself? It was the one that was around about 30-40 metres down the oval that actually called that decision.
Well, we'll ask Gary Window about that. He is an umpire's man after all. Bannock from the midfield with the kick. A long bomb into the forward line. Mellor from behind couldn't get it. It flicks out to McCulley, who in turn pushes it off to Thompson. He's picking back plenty of the ball. He had nowhere to go. Drives it out in the direction of the half-forward flank. Richardson picks it up. Off to Dempsey. Look at that. Clever look away. Handball to Carlson on 50 and running wide. Tries to bend it back. The smother was fantastic by Thompson. He's playing well already. Raiders a little short kick in the direction of Pearce. Hands it off from Burke, and Pearce got clobbered. And it's across the line and out of play. Well, it's tough down there.
Certainly isn't that little Pearce. He's a bit of a goer too. There's plenty of them in this game today as the throw-in right in front of our ABC commentary position. As goes away, Carlson's got it. Gets away to Dempsey. He's got a lot of brains, this lad, hasn't he? Drives it long into attack. The Flyers are all there. The Bay's up in front. Can't get it. All heavy work there. Tries to shoot it out the back. Can't do so for West Adelaide. That was Parker there, the Brisbane recruit, on the bottom of the pack. He couldn't get it out. Bounced down only about 20 metres out from the goals. West Adelaide lead 3-2. Glenelg 3 points. Big pack of players there. Symes tries to get it away. Pulling off the ball. The umpire's there. He showed that. And it's Andriski, I believe, has got the free kick for too high tackle.
Dead right.
Andriski, a good player, often gets around the packs. And you certainly show the umpires. He showed that one. I think it was there. Have a look at that there and pulled him right off the ball.
Gary, we might just, as our special guest, just allow Mark Nally to do the special comments. I mean,
you'll have
your
to
enthusiasm's good, but your commentate and your special comment.
I'm just used to that, Mark. You spelt me a few times.
We'll have the interchange bench out shortly.
Meanwhile, Andriski kicks the goal. He brings up the fourth one for West Adelaide. And it was a good build-up once again by West Adelaide. They brought the ball down the line. They kept a lot of pressure on the Glenelg back line. Just weren't going to allow them to get the ball out easily. And once again, it was turnover. But a bit of a free kick here. Had hold of his shoulders, had hold of his jumper. And you can't complain about that decision.
Alistair Burke, I think, was caught cold, wasn't he?
They want to start at West Adelaide, though. 4-2 to 3 points. That's unbelievable.
But they've always had that capability, haven't they, Gary?
Yep, they're certainly hot and cold, but a good start.
So back at the middle, it's 4-2 to 3 points. Glenelg are fading. West Adelaide are looking better, and the Bays need to respond, and quickly. Poor bounce, falls wide. Bannock went at it. Thornborough takes it away from centre half forward. Feeds it off now to Burke, who goes long towards full forward. And underneath this one, it's Scripsy. So little Justin, who knows his way around the forward line too, by the way. He's kicked a few goals in his time down here. Didn't kick a lot of goals last year. He only got, 8. He didn't play a lot of football, though.
It's great to see David players like that, backing back hard into the pack and taking a good mark there.
So Justin Scripps, who has 38 goals from his 26 games prior to today, lines it up, drills it, likes it. That's the one they needed. That keeps them in the game. Without that, they were fading. And down on the boundary line, Rob Popplestone. Rob, what have you got for us?
Interchange being made. Stuart McCulley, one of the tools, has been taken off, and young Trent Riley, a runner, has been put on. The runners are causing problems out of that defence for the West Adelaide side, so Wayne Stringer's picked that up and made a suitable change.
From up here, Rob, it looks like there's a lot of feeling, a lot of voice out on the ground.
There is, especially from West Adelaide, DB. You picked it in one. West Adelaide are very enthusiastic, very supportive of each other, and importantly, running in numbers from defence.
Fogden out of the centre, gets a backhanded slap away. Symes comes through like a train. That was good play. Gets a quick kick on, and it's Richardson on the half-forward line. More down in the centre. He's playing on the half-forward line as Mark. Another one of the crew recruits for West Adelaide from Richmond. He drives it. Oh, out of sight. Up high. There was a big fly there from West Adelaide. Couldn't mark, and it's a free kick go to the opposition.
Well, he gave away the free kick, but what a leap there by Woosnam. Well up over the pack.
Kicks it wide. The Bays with those runners we're talking about as Compton goes wide into the centre wing position. Knocked away. He comes back, has another little go at it. Over to handball was good to Pearce. They go into attack. Couldn't take it there. Let it go to Chick Whitten. He's got a chance. He was tackled but not in possession. Handball goes back, but now West Adelaide have cleared. Andriski's got it. He's got plenty of backup there. Fogden has a look where to go. Plenty of players. He's got Woosnam though there. He bolts, goes back one way. Then gets the kick. Oh, good blocking there. That was beautiful play there by the Bays and Bartlett, and that'll give them a chance with a good kick going in there to the full forward area. Bounces off everyone there. They can't get it clear. Handball away, and that'll allow West Adelaide out of trouble to the outer side of the ground. Wide out there, running very wide is number 14 for West Adelaide. He can't get it. Now for the little blonde one. Drives it long into attack, and a good strong mark taken to defence. Robbie Popplestone, what's it look like down there?
Well, another change. Coach Michael Taylor's responded to Wayne Stringer's move, also going to take off a tall. He'll take off Green, and the experienced Grantley Filkey, another runner, will come on for the Bloods.
They'll certainly need him. There's a kick, goes long into attack, bounces over the back. Woosnam couldn't take it, but West Adelaide got plenty of players there, can get it out. Drive to the centre, and Dempsey's got it. Dempsey looking for leads, goes short. Good play by them. They're using each other up, and that was Barrett on that occasion. Jones goes into attack again. They're leaving that little hole there, Mark, for him to run into, and that was brilliant play to Miller again.
There's just no pressure at the moment by the Glenelg side. When the players are running down from half back through the centre at the moment, Gary, there's just no pressure at the moment there. You can't really say, I don't know, about Raiders who's standing with Miller at the moment. I mean, you can't say too much about him because the ball is just being delivered so beautifully.
I think young Raiders, he played much footy there though. He's just running along behind, which is not good with Miller running the spots. He'll kick from 50, gives a big bang, but he's pulled that one well offline. Both umpires are there. Boundary umpire says no, it's out on the full.
The Raiders normally plays on the wing. That's where he's played most of his football with Glenelg and also with Richmond last year. It was on a wing, so it does surprise me that he is lining up at full back this afternoon.
Yeah, I think we'll have to look at something. As a big kick comes into centre wing, it goes down to the front of the pack. West Adelaide with a chance coming through there. It's Richardson. He kicks off the ground well, goes into centre half forwards. Thompson for the Bays has got it. The left foot has got it now. Goes with a big screwy through the centre of the ground. Plenty of West Adelaide players back there waiting for it. Rounds the first one over there, tries to get it away. Not very well directed. That allows the Bays in. The crook kick goes into centre half forward. Good one way, the other way. Bartlett's got it. Drives long at goal from 45 out. He's missed. It's offline when they needed a goal. And the Glenelg needing goals go to 1-4, West Adelaide 4-2.
The two number 14s, Wigney and Bartlett. That'll be a good battle today. We might just watch as that unfolds. 23 minutes in. Short one. Underneath that one. Bannock dropped it. Now this is where they need to really build West Adelaide from defence. They've been good in the midfield, but the way they brought the ball out of defence really has struggled a bit. Thompson short, uses the ball beautifully. This is Chig Whitten in the midfield. Plays on quickly, goes to the far side. Big fly up, pack flew. Connell, Kretschmer. Kretschmer's a solid player too. You don't get easy kicks against Dwayne Kretschmer. Nord and South, Nord by 25 points. You'd anticipate that. South Adelaide just in a rebuilding phase under Ken Applegarth. And there's number 15, Ricky Hall, getting ready to come on. 6-game player from Shepparton last year. Earned his stripes late in the season. 31 over the top of that, working hard as Nathan Brown. Connell thumps the handball forward. And Drisky off the ground. It's out of bounds on the full. Well, it didn't come off, did it?
Out of side of the ground, it certainly didn't. Mark, they seem to have stopped though, the Bays. What have they got to get down there? They've got some good rangy looking players, but they're not directing with any method at all.
Well, at the moment they've got that big Ottens who I like, who I'm been very impressed with. Still sitting at full forward. I'd bring him onto the ball and just give him a bit of a run. He can jump and take a mark.
Yeah, and they'll need that there. That's down to that half forward position Mark Nayley was just telling you about. It's off hands down the front of the pack. Connell couldn't get it. Oh, a lot of showy play there, but it gets it away with it. Out comes banging from full back was Glenelg, this West Adelaide Coghill. He couldn't clear, but he'll get a free kick in the centre half back position.
Solid player is Coghill.
It's well built. He played some good games last year. Now he's got a short play. That's all right too. It's Wisdom. He's got it. Getting kicks on the half back line for the West Adelaide side. Drives long over the 50-metre line, but plenty of Bay players back there. It's big Thornborough dropping back, handballs away. That's that player King who's got. He's getting kicks in the first quarter. Drops it short to centre half back. Visca, he's got it. Chigwidden back to Visca. Probably overused there a bit, but it's ended up with Visca. He runs into trouble, and that's what I mean. They get in trouble. Best to get a kick in that occasion. Rombotis has got it. He goes wide to Thompson. Centre wing for the Bays. What can he do? But he doesn't know where to go. Now drives long, and that gives West Adelaide, unless Otten's behind is any good. He up high, couldn't mark, went a bit late. Filkey's down there in the last line defence. Goes one way, back the other. Gets the handball away, and they get out of trouble through Brown out near the line, but Chigwidden's good enough to get in. He's got it. Pulled off. The boot as he kicked it goes in, but it's Glenelg underneath that, and a good falling mark to Ricky Hall.
Ricky Hall just replaced Pearce.
Yeah, I was about to say that. He just came on. He's only just his first run for the afternoon, and it's his first touch. We can't be too happy at this stage of the game. They're down by 16-point margin at the moment. We've got McCulley on the bench as well, so a couple of experienced players there.
Hall from 40 metres with the kick. They need a goal, the Bays. He puts it on. That's a beauty. He split the middle there. The youngsters come good. Coming onto the ground, he's whacked it through for a goal. Glenelg definitely needed that. 2-4 they go to. West Adelaide 4-2.
Yeah, plenty of solid work. It wasn't an easy goal, as I would call an easy goal. It wasn't set up. We just see here, if you play in front, we saw before with Mellor up in the goal square for West Adelaide. Just play in front, put your hands on the ball and bring it in tight. You'll get yourself a mark or a free kick. He played in front Hall there, and he put it through, bring up their third goal for the second goal for the afternoon.
Bounce down to the centre. Thornborough.
You'll be playing next, Gary, I tell you. You're doing everything.
I'm just going to say, it's funny, you call it with your boys, because I just hop in, just like when you play, go straight for it. And you call it David McKay.
Thanks for that, Gary. Your guest commentator.
You wouldn't know it, would you?
Alistair Burke, Hall there, 17 is Dempsey. Hard little player, a real hard little player. Good pick up by the Crows, very astute recruiting. And he will be a player of the future, the boy from the Riverland. Chigwidden steals it away from Eagleton. Hurries a kick forward. Scripps is there. Brown's back there. A Dow defender. Socks down, long hair, but pretty effective. Punches it long and low to Fogden, who's at half back. The big ruckman dominating in this match so far. I think McCulley's broken even when he's been on the field, but McCulley's spent quite a bit of time on the bench. Now the long booming kick towards the midfield. Big pack flies. Nobody brings that one down. Loose ball falls to Carlson. He tries to crash through. Rombotis holds him off. Eagleton crashes through. Dempsey goes right in over the top. And in doing so, there's been a free kick given away, and it's going the way of Nick Chigwidden, who'll take it from centre half back.
He's certainly getting kicks late in this quarter. Goes wide. That's a bad kick. Falkland's under that and can get it wide. Plenty of players. Connell, he'll need to get into this game too. Drops it short, not a very well-placed kick, and that allows the Bays to come over the back. Good play. Handball wide to Chigwidden again. There's the link player. He'll go long now, looking for Ottens down there on a long lead. He makes a yard up there. Oh, it's a brilliant grab. I can see what you boys were talking about. Mark Nayley.
Yeah, just he's playing out in front again, strong hands, but to be able to take a mark like that, Gary, under that much pressure, the player there alongside him was Coghill, who's pretty strong, pretty experienced also. Young Bradley Otten's only had one behind this afternoon. He's had one shot. He's still only 17 years old.
Oh, that was a magnificent grab.
Just turned 17.
Yeah, that was really good. That is the hardest mark in the book at full forward, running flat out. Ottens now. Heard a lot about him, a big future in front of him. Kicks right from the 50-metre line, gets onto it. It's going long in there. The umpire says, that's all right, lad. You've kicked it. It's a goal. Good comeback by the Bays. They got a 3-4, trailing West 4-2.
Yeah, good build-up, better looking then. It started with Chigwidden. We put the ball out in front of young Ottens here, who's just had a haircut in the last sort of 6 or 7 days. But right on the 50-metre line, Mitch. I've never been able to kick a goal from that far out. He's put it straight through the middle of the oval.
That was a good comeback, wasn't it? They certainly came back after looking very ordinary the first half of this first quarter. The Bays hit back with 3 goals.
Ridgeway on for Visca, but the siren sounded. It's a 4-point margin at quarter time. Second quarter underway at Glenelg Oval. It's the Tigers taking on West Adelaide. Your commentators, Mark Nayley and Gary Window.
It's a 4-point ball game. West Adelaide 4 points up at the end of the first quarter. Rob Popplestone down on the ground. What have you got, mate?
Well, DB, I'm not sure that you noticed, but Mark Visca left the field late in that first quarter. He copped a heavy knock to the head, and he hasn't returned to the ground. So that's a concern for the Glenelg side.
Fogden gets it away again out of the centre. They try to get it clear. Big Thornborough there putting plenty of pressure on. Tries to get it away. They can't do so. Little quick kick goes to centre half forward. Plenty of battling for the ball there. Hard tackling. The ball drops down to the front of the pack. They can't get it out of there. Umpire's letting it go. It's probably all. Andriski in there tries hard. He can't get it clear. Now it's away with a long kick. In there for Glenelg was by Burke. It goes to full forward, knocked away. Bayes coming in, Rombotis. That's a bit of an intelligent kick as he goes towards goal, but it's hit the post.
That was a Peter Dacos special. He tried to run the ball along the ground, trying to get the right break. It did. Unfortunately, that big white post sitting in the middle of the oval there caught it.
Coghill from full back, zeroes it in. This is Bannock playing out of the middle and playing pretty well so far. This is his 4th possession. I suppose it's the possessions, but it's the body work he's really done that's put himself in the limelight. Short, Barrett, well, isn't he having a tough afternoon at the office? Thumped away. Rombotis goes short. This is Rubenik, drills it, and over the head of both players.
Free kick, David?
No, it's a free. Well, it was a goal, and you picked it up pretty well.
A little bit of inexperience there, possibly. What Dalton should have done then was got in front of the player or the side of the player and just sort of shepherded him out a little bit.
Kick goes wide to the outer side of the ground and taken there by Connell. Want to get back in the Crows side also. Kick to the half back line. It's 4-2, Glenelg 3-5. 3-point ball game. Westies in front as Fogden's got it on the half back line for West Adelaide. Just setting it up. We see that in footy nowadays. Now the long kick around centre wing. Not well directed. Big Thornborough laps that up, grabs the ball, centre wing outer side.
Looks pretty good, doesn't he?
Does. He's a big man. He drives it long. Now that's better long kicking from the Bays. Knocked away from the back. The back goes down to the front where Burke's got it. Brown got it. Tries to handball away to Bannock. He can't take it. Wisdom does well to get that up. Fogden didn't want to grab that ball, but he's knocked that 40 metres with the thumb down to the Bay half back line, but the Glenelg are good enough to get out of it. Good kick in there, and the Bays through Justin Scripps marker.
Yes, Brooks uses the ball pretty well. Scripps on the grandstand wing. Good crowd building up. If you're thinking about coming down, you want to come down. Now, Brooks has followed the ball down. Look at this. He sat on the boundary line. I think they must have thought he was being interchanged. But he came just right along the boundary line and marked it. There was not a player in 20 metres. Bannock handballs over the top. Woosden caught in traffic. Did well to crash through. Explodes away. Delivers the ball towards centre half forward. There's a big slip on. And King thumps the ball down. Crashing through Thompson. I like the way this kid plays. He is a real athlete. And nothing phases him. Brooks back to Thompson. Back further still to Gigney. They're working it out of defence. A long ball now to half forward. Dempsey sits underneath this one. The little fella was there. Coming in late was Hall, but getting it out Andriski. Now to Brown. Chips it short. And underneath this one marking is Eagleton on the grandstand wing. Goes long. Mellor used his body cleverly to push Raiders off the ball. Symes comes in late, just inside the boundary line, and chips it back. Down on the boundary line, Rob Popplestone. What have you got for us, Rob?
Barrett's gone. Chris Barrett's left the ground with an ankle injury. He's been replaced by Peter Walsh, number 26.
Well, promising movement there by West Adelaide. Big Symes made a yard there, but they need a goal down there while I've got it there as we're in this first couple of minutes of the second quarter.
Poor old Chris Barrett has been belted from pillars of post out there this afternoon. I've seen him take 3 big knocks. I just saw him walking off the ground there. He did look very sore and very tired.
Thornborough down to Chickwitten. That was good play, and they got out of trouble beautifully. The Bays out to the half back line where the ball's knocked out of play. Throw in on the left half forward flank for West Adelaide.
Gary, did they have ice baths in your day?
Can't remember too many ice baths.
Chrissy Barrett will be going down to sit in an ice bath.
Certainly needs something. As Mark has said, he's taken some heavy whacks today. Big over the top. That Thompson, you're right, he's a good player. Chingwitten tries to get it clear. West Adelaide through. Connell go into the half forward line. There's a chance here. Bannock's got it, only 40 metres out. He's usually a good kick from that angle, but no, he hasn't hooked it far enough. He's missed offline for another point to the West Adelaide side. 4-3 they are, Glenelg 3-5.
Just no voice there over Bannock. He just had opportunity then to be able to turn his body around, straighten himself up, but Anthony Bannock
Doesn't kick a lot of goals, Mark, does he?
no, we just seen was it 19 goals of 4 points in 1996, around about that sort of area.
4 goals from 19 games.
Was that what it was?
Ian Mogridge is just giving us our stats man. 4 goals from 19 games last year, Bannock, for a centreman. You'd think he might have had a better return. This is Brebner. The handball high. Thornborough. An ungainly left foot kick, but Chigwidden runs onto it. Delivers the ball up nicely. Look at this. This is little Josh Compton, and he's a charger inside 50. The kick was a bit of a scrubber, however. I think he was on the run and just couldn't quite deliver it. Well done, Ottens. Little fella there now. We're getting it back as Trent Riley. Around the corner he goes. Scripps was a big fly. Brings it down. Compton dragged off the ball. Scripps works hard for it. So too does Ottens. But Brown just concedes the point, and West Adelaide's defence regroups.
Look at the average size there for the Glenelg players. Goal scorers around about 5'2", up against some pretty strong timber and tall timber with the West Adelaide side. But some good work and disciplined work there by the West Adelaide players. They didn't allow him to, the Glenelg side, to kick a goal.
He was over the line too, by the way.
He was. The Bays have had 9 scoring shots, West Adelaide the 7, but the Bays still lead. The West Adelaide side still lead by 3 points as Ron Bodas.
Oh, lovely
It's
kick.
a brilliant kick, isn't it? That's why I say that. It was a great. He had a look, and that's the big thing. Lift the eyes in footy.
He was back.
You just saw that. I mean, he just didn't he? Just lifted his eyes. Looked like it went off the side of his boot, but he just knew the player was in the centre. But that's the way to bring it back. Anybody watching at home, any young kids watching at home, just lift your eyes as you're going forward. There's always a player there.
Stay with the player now as he runs in. That's a good kick straight out in front. Beauty. That's what the Bays needed. That puts them in front. And that was Alistair Burke has whacked it through for his first goal. Good play by the Bays. And that's the one they needed, Mark. A good attacking move. They seem to be scoring up at this.
Puts them in front.
So, yeah, it's amazing attacking movement. Those look better as they settle down.
It all started from Ron Bottas. He was on the play that got across, but a good kick there by Alistair Burke. He was a good 45 metres out, kicking against a slight breeze, but he brought up his first goal for the afternoon.
9 kicks and a handball to Burke as Glenelg take the lead by 3 points. This is a ball game. Thornborough in ruck against Fogden. It was Thornborough who wins it, but Bannock, who steals it out of the middle, thumps it towards centre half forward. Outlumbers Big Green. He couldn't quite get there. Gigney at the back door tries to mop up. Oh, crashing over the top with Ridgway. Gets clobbered and picks himself up a free kick.
He's pulling the arm the wrong way, the umpire. He's playing towards the West Adelaide side. You realise, but also they're pretty aggressive, this West Adelaide side. They haven't won a game so far this year. There's some strong, tough discipline. They're trying to intimidate this Glenelg side. They really have had a tag over the last, say, 4 or 5 seasons. Have been just a little bit susceptible and a little bit of body pressure has been put around them.
So in the centre half forward position, they try to get it clear. Wisdom knocks it out. Good tackling there on Walsh. He throws the ball away. The umpire lets it go. The Bays with a chance, which grips handball away. It's Ron Bodas again. Drives it long.
Lovely kick again.
Beautiful kick, Mark. No, you called that it was coming. Great lead. Great kick. He certainly uses the eyes, Ron Bodas.
All right, players, you've got to go across to Ron Bottas and pat him on the back because it's his goal again. He put it in the last goal when he passes across to Burke. This one, I reckon, was a better kick than the first one. He kicked across his body about 35, 40 metres at least, that sort of distance. And he's found Bradley Ottens, who's already had a couple of kicks. He's brought up 1 goal for the afternoon. But been very, very exciting down there.
Stay with him. He goes over the 50-metre line, kicks from about 47 metres. It's a lovely strong kick straight through the middle. Great goal, the Bays. His second goal. The Bays putting on a bit here as they go to 5-6, leading West Adelaide 4-3.
Just hoping in replay we can get the whole lot of you across to the top to Ron Bottas. He takes a little bit of that, doesn't take a bounce, but just kicks around his body. You don't see too many players can do that just off a couple of steps. And a lovely lead by Bradley Ottens. He saw the player coming out. Takes the mark and kicks. He kicked the first goal from about 50 metres, and that one there from about 48 to 45 metres. But for a young lad at 17 years old, he can kick over a long distance.
2 goals, 1 to Ottens from only 3 kicks. He's done pretty well. They now lead by 9 points. Here comes Bannock off to Wigney. Handballs a hurried one away, and the finish Walsh on the ground. Gets through traffic. Over the top it goes. Now this is Eagleton. He's runner. And he's running. Long to Green. Up on his feet quickly. Second effort was very good. Crashing through Gigney. Little Josh Compton is over the top of the ball, and there'll be a bounce. That's a fair effort, isn't it? Players charging at the ball, committing their body, and it's not as if they're getting paid $100 grand a year.
Oh no, it's a brilliant attack on the ball. And that's what you want to see at this level, especially the players, especially young players wanting to learn the game properly. You can't deviate off your line when the ball's there. Bounce down. Big Thornborough's doing well in there. Walsh has got it. He handballs away. He should have been on from the start, I think, that lad. He's quite a good player for West Adelaide. Down the back of the pack there's they go in hard. Connell's tackled. He can't get it clear. Get all over him again. Another bounce down on the left half forward flank region for the West Adelaide side. 5-6 the Bays, leading West 4-3.
Now the match being played today. Norwood are ahead by 31 points at the parade. So South Adelaide really need to start getting a wriggle on out there and just try and keep themselves in some form of competitive spirit.
Eagle getting a free kick there. Big Gidney, he's not a bad looking player for the Bays. Was way up in that ruck too. But Eagleton now with the free kick, and he's certainly a wonderful kick, this kid. Mark, like we're right behind him here. I'd like you to call us through this. I reckon he'll whack this through. He's certainly got a beautiful left foot kick.
You see, he's only having his 4th game.
Oh, I don't like the way he runs at it.
That's not a bad kick, David. I think
Good
he's
kick.
put it right through the middle.
He'll need to fix that run up though. Won't he?
I don't know, but you kick goals like that from 50 metres, I wouldn't change my run up at all.
It's his second too, by the way.
Well, they got the goal they needed. Glenelg got the first couple of goals. You just see here, there's Eagleton just inside, just gets held on the shoulder slightly. He does get taken a little bit high. You can see he kicks him right on the 15-metre line, just inside of it. I just said he goes out left, but then brings it back beautifully. That's gone right through the middle of the goalpost.
They'll need to fix that run up though. That will be a problem.
That's his second for the afternoon.
I tell you, he plonked it there though, on the left footer to get around. It did look right. He usually runs straight, but I tell you what, you can't have a go at him the way he finished off.
Not when he kicks it. It's a 3-point ball game. We're back in the centre with Fogden, who thumps the ball forward, and Drisky bustles. Walsh kicks it off the ground. At the back door is young Ricky Hall, or 25-year-old Ricky Hall. Thompson, that's his only error for the day. Off the outstep, went towards the boundary line. The kick really, I don't think, went where he wanted it to. And Rombotis, number 20 for the Tigers, is just prowling around the midfield. We suggested before the game when he was named off a halfback flank he might play in the middle. Well, he's playing on Bannock, and they're doing a pretty good job on each other. Yeah,
I think it's a pretty good move from the West Adelaide and the Bay play. They're both good players, and they've cut each other out. Rombotis getting in the game as it goes on. There's big Richardson for West Adelaide trying to get it clear. Can't do so. A lot of tackling. He goes through hard. Can't get it out of there. And the umpire will have a ball up on that left half forward flank for the West Adelaide side. Good ball game here. Glenelg 5-6 leading West 5-3 by 3 points. Who can get a goal here? Some wonderful talent on display at the Bay Oval. Knock away goes. There's one of them, young Eagleton, couldn't take it. Gigney in there, also a young player, tries to get it clear. Dempsey now another one. He barges through. He's tackled high and will get the free kick. Deserved it because he's the young bloke going for the ball.
25 metres as well. A Glenelg player just put his leg into him slightly. Just gave him a little bit of a nudge with that knee. That play was Rombotis. He's got 25 metres, and Dempsey could just put him within distance of kicking the next goal.
I like this kid, Gary. He just excites me the way he plays the game. He's tough, mean, hard, he's fast, he's got good hands, and he hits the target with his kicks.
He only played 21 games for West Adelaide. It's hard to believe, but he's got everything in front of him. You can't go wrong, can you? If you can get in and get a ball like that, keep your eyes on the ball as he did. Well, he got the penalty, which was a good end of the thing. See if he can kick it. What's it like? Long, hard. It's there. They're all rocking the post. What do they do with that, with all the players rocking the post?
I'd like to see that again. I reckon the players were hitting the post. The ball didn't hit the post. The players were knocking it.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I'd love to see that again. Just we got it on replay right here, David. We'll call it through.
Yep.
We just see here the players start rocking the post there. We'll just wait till it comes down.
Down.
Has it hit it?
Is it going to hit the post?
No.
That ball, yes, it did. No, it did.
We'll see it later, I reckon. We can call it
Well,
possibly
you blind us up. Of course it did.
It did. It hit the post. We were wrong. Let's just admit it, Mark. Gary would know us right. We were wrong. We've got to cop that one, sweet. Eagleton to the long to the square. It's a point. And we bow to his greater judgment, you know. We must do that.
I'd just like to see where the ball just gets by that post where it didn't hit it. I reckon the players were swinging.
Just like you played, Mark. You're not going to give in, I know. We don't expect you to.
He questioned the umpire all the time, didn't he?
Not a bad player, though. There's the kick out. The Bays need to get something. The game really stopped here a bit at the moment. Need some attacking moves. Thompson's over it. He's got it. Handballs to himself. He can't do it. It's out of play.
Think about this fellow. He's so athletic. He's built like a triathlete. He leaps like a gazelle, and he's got a good pair of hands. I think if there's a blemish in his game, perhaps it's the disposal aspect of it.
Can't kick right foot.
He needs to work on that.
Because it made a blue just before.
Good call.
Throw in. Big pack of players there. Symes up, tries to get it down. A handball away. Allows the Bays to clear. Not very far, just around centre wing. Scrubby little kick, and it's out of play once more.
We should be fair to him. There he's on screen. He's only had really a year of SANFL football. He came up last year from Victor Harbour. Didn't do the pre-season. This is his first pre-season where he's filled out. And I think just with perhaps another year of SANFL footy, he might be a player of the future, this kid.
I think so. 17 games, not much. We expect a lot from these young players. There's the handball away. This Eagleton's on the end of a few. Good link player, drives into attack. It goes over all players.
Dempsey.
Who's there? Oh, Dempsey's read it brilliantly.
Yeah.
Mark Daly, you would have loved that one. He's banged it through. Great goal to West Adelaide. His first. West Adelaide hit back and go to 6-5, leading Glenelg 5-6.
Good roving by Dempsey. That's what impressed him about the Crows, I think. That's why they picked him up. He just moves so beautifully. But where's his player? Where was his player? At the moment, he seems to be resting in the forward pocket. And his player there, we can just pick him up in a little while. I think we can. But a good roving and a good goal by Greg Dempsey. His first for the afternoon. He's kicked 1 goal, 1.
West Adelaide back in front by 5 points. The lead has seesawed 4 times this quarter. We're 15 minutes in to the second term. Just halfway through the quarter. Thornborough thumps it down, but Bannock steals it out of the middle and goes long towards half forward. Symes is there, Richardson there, Gigney, 33 for the Tigers. This is Symes, feeds it out to Andriski, cleaned up nicely by Josh Compton. Now Andriski goes after it again, can't recover. Brooks manhandled, pulled off the ball. The umpire said it's a free, didn't have possession. And Brooksy only played 5 games last year, and he's been pretty good this year. He's got himself fit, looks pretty thin, carried a bit of weight over the last couple of seasons. And Gigney on the defensive 50-metre line marks. And they're looking to play possession football.
Where is he going?
Well, they really back this Guy Thompson in, don't they? And it's a Shepherd.
Well, the umpire's paid the Shepherd, but
What was that?
he's kicked it across the ground
To Thompson.
to Thompson, who was with 3 West Adelaide players.
Now, that's a long raking kick. That's a beautiful ball. Thornborough underneath it, right in the 50-metre square. Has a lead from Scripps going through half forward, pushes it out wide. Scripsy gets there, but off the boot. Now, do we count that as a stat? We might have to. And now it's across the line and out of play.
He kicked that in.
Our stats man didn't like that.
I can
He's
see
not
what
gonna
you
pay.
weren't going to put up with. He's not going to play it either.
Oh, when I played, I counted every one. 16 minutes into the second term. Your commentator, Gary Window.
Throw in right in front of our ABC commentary position at the Bay Oval. Good game of footy here. As the kick goes into attack, but in the way, it's all West Adelaide's. Coghill's got it, centre half back. Looks for a leading Carlson. It'll need to be a good kick. Can't get it in with him, Rubinick. He'll take it first, throws the ball out in front of him. He had a teammate with him, goes back over it, kicks it away. No one in particular goes wide. It'll just bounce out of play. Well, outer side of the ground as Filkey tries to make the yardage. He can't do so, throw in.
Make a prediction, Mark. I mean, it's just slowed down a little bit.
It's a seesawing game. That's what's happening at the moment. Players, they really had to start with, with great vigour and great pace about the game. At the moment, it's just in a bit of a lull at the moment, but your sides are still working hard. Just that bit of desperation has been taken off it.
Carlson to Andriski. Andriski kick as a hurried one out of bounds on the full. Thompson picks up another possession. He's just roaming at half back. Now there's the Tigers dietitian in the foreground, feeding the players hot dogs, is it? In the background.
Oh, footy's great. He'd have a pie with sauce for footy. It's good stuff.
I'm sure that's not on their diet. And Thompson, a long, good fly, Fogden from behind. He came 3 deep over the top of Bartlett. That was just an athletic mark. Really launched into that one. Good hands. Plays on quickly now. And short, it's Wigney, the birthday boy, 28 years of age today. Shorter still, Symes, just outside 50. Needs to be probably a bit more mobile to get away from Thompson and find a bit more of the ball. It's been a good battle. Thompson winning that one so far. Some thought that Symes might have had a chance with the power, and they picked up their squad. They needed a big mobile big man.
Can kick a ball too, can Timothy Symes.
He really belts him, doesn't he? A long ball forward. Green at the front of the pack. 2 bites at the cherry. Couldn't bring it down. Now Chigwidden defensively. Rows the ball. Punches it out long and wide. Now Matt Connell plays on quickly. Chips it around. Underneath this one, Walsh marks. And he'll kick for goal from 45 metres out. The angle is slight. And he'll have a real dip at the goals from here.
Socks down, jumper out, with the fiery red hair. Good grab, he put his arms up. He just ducked his head as the players were coming at him. Very lucky to take that, but Peter Walsh from about a 45-degree angle will kick from around about 40 to 45 metres.
Didn't kick a lot of goals last year. I think he played mainly off a half-back flank. 18 games last year for 2 goals. Didn't really get amongst them. And he kicked it like he wasn't confident, didn't he? He just chipped away at it. Didn't stay over the top and drill it in. Back to defence for you.
We'll just see Ottens has been moved onto the ball. At this stage, one of the move that Stringer has made this afternoon, and Bartlett has gone back. Oh no, Thornborough has gone to full forward.
Justin Brooks to bring the ball back into play for the Bays. 6-6 West Adelaide leading the Bays 5-6, only a goal in it. And it's out of the side of the ground. Thompson again does well. Good handball. That gets away to Gigney. Takes too long. Gets a little kick away. Centre of the ground. Connell, what can he do? Gets it on the quick ball on the boot quick. But it's all Glenelg there and they'll get out of trouble. Long kick. Who's he looking for up there? Scripps. He can't mark. Over the back of the pack. No one can take it. This little bloke will have a go. Brown. He can't get it. Kicked off the ground. West Adelaide attack the ball. Also the Bays there under the bottom of the pack can't get out. Woos them over the top.
He's back.
The umpire says it's in the back. You heard Mark Daly call it. We're free kick Glenelg within 40 metres.
A bit unlucky the player was going down. He had his head over and tail up, as you can see here. Good camera work. It was just there. The player just came. The player there was number 11 in Dean Woosnam, who's been pretty good this afternoon. Just a little bit too much on him. This young Trent Riley, who's only 17 years old, has only had his one kick this afternoon. His second one could be through the middle of the goal.
Only playing his third game. A lot of players in that game haven't played too many games. Only a little fella. What can he kick like? Puts it on the boot. Looked all right off the boot. It's going in the close there. The goal umpire right under it. It's a goal, and it's a good reply. It's made it a tied ball game. Glenelg 6-6. West Adelaide 6-6 also.
It's just great to see after he kicked that goal. The senior players around him, and Kretschmer and also the captain and Nick Chickwidden came across, and also young Alistair Burke as well, came across, just shook his head, shook his hand, just made sure that the players realised that that was a goal that they needed. That puts them square now with the West Adelaide side.
Locked away, 20 and a half minutes into the second term. We're almost into half-time. Stay with us as we preview tomorrow's Showdown 1 between the Crows and Port Adelaide. I'm sure Gary Window might have some very interesting thoughts on that match too. And we'll give you the update on what's happening with both clubs. Richard Williams, umpire number 3, as Norwood lead by 52 points. That's a blowout at the parade. South Adelaide really struggling to get back in the match there. And Norwood, it appears, a percentage booster. Raiders moved from defence into the midfield. Kick smothered. Connell gathers it. Off to Woosnam, playing well from defence. A long raking kick through the half-forward line. Drifting back as Brooks. And Brooks marks in defence for the Tigers.
There's players like Connell and also Dempsey out there at the moment, especially Connell, who's been a regular player for the Crows. You're just going to start doing a little bit more work. I mean, at the moment he's just getting his kick and then he's just relaxing on it. At the moment, if I was Matthew Connell, I'd just be running from one end of the over to the other. If I'm worn out by three-quarter time and I picked up 40 kicks, well, who cares less? He's got his players, he's got his football operations manager here, he's got his coach here. He has to impress him if he wants to get back into that Crow side. It
just looks to me, Mark, to be carrying a bit of weight. It's always a bit difficult to play the type of running game he does when you're just carrying those 3 or 4 or 5 extra kilos. Wigney goes to ground, thumps the ball out. Fortunately, otherwise it would have been a free kick. Now Woosnam dragged off the ball beautifully by Scripps. Brebner had the ball stripped away. Now Kretschmer, I like the way this guy plays. He's tough. Brebner throws out the long handball, gets one under the ear for his trouble and picks up a free kick. And the ball will come back to Brebner for West Adelaide. Only 21.
The days of having experienced players in your side have gone out, haven't they, Gary? I mean, years gone past, you used to have players around the sort of 30, 32, 33. You had half a dozen of them. The young players found it very difficult to break into the side. But these days, they're all 16, 17, 18, 19-year-olds. There's just so many of them running around. And they're pretty good.
You're not happy with Grantley Filkey, 362 games?
I know, but there's one player out there. When you go back from there, there's not too many other players out there this afternoon with that much experience.
I think there's only 3 other players on the field that have played more than 100 games, by the way. 4, correction. So your point's well made. And this is Richardson. Ed, as opposed to Adam, the tattooed one, the 21-year-old from Richmond this year, will kick from 48 metres directly in front and scores a locked away. Looks good, doesn't it? It's a beautiful kick, and that is just deviating left, but I think it's through for a point.
Yeah.
It was close.
Yeah, the players didn't get too stirred up there. That was an important kick as we get near the end of the second quarter. It puts West Adelaide 1 point in front near the end of this second quarter mark, and they really need the goal there. That would have been very handy. Kick in comes wide. Bays have got a chance. Kick long into the centre of the ground. Plenty of flies there. Woosnam's done well. Didn't get that. Bartlett marked that. He wasn't paid it. Over to Kretschmer. He goes into attack. Bouncing there for Scripps. He does well. Goes one way. He'll go back on his left foot. He's looking for someone to kick to. It took too long after that. Tries to get back over it now. Can't do so. Battling out of there is Dempsey. He can't get it clear. Taken by Chickwidden. This will be danger. Goes towards goal. It is. Great goal by the skipper. He's whacked it through, and that was a good goal from the skipper. Glenelg in front now, 7-6 to West Adelaide, 6-7.
5-point margin there at the 23, nearly 24-minute mark of this second quarter. Good work here. Just a little bit of a mistake by the West Adelaide player there. Just couldn't try to be a little bit too fancy. Cheek Whitten. Just don't let Rovers, like with his class, be able to clean up that easily. You know when he picks them up inside that 15 metres, it's going to go right through the middle of the goals, and it did. That brings up his first for the afternoon, and that brings up Glenelg's 7th.
223 games to Nick Cheek Whitten. He's been around a long while, but that was a very important goal in the context of this game.
Fogden thumbs it down. Bannock, handball's wide. Filkey, who started on the bench, now on the oval, around the corner on the left boot. Underneath one, Eagleton. Swings on the left, called to play on. Has Andriski in support. Provides the Shepherd. Now the kick around the corner is a good one. And Green on the lead, led beautifully. Knew that Eagleton was a left footer and put it in the perfect position. So Green, who normally plays as a defender, will put it to the point of the square. Mellors underneath this one, thumped away by Thompson. Loose ball falls to Walsh, turns around, feeds off nicely. Dempsey just creates a little bit of space, straightens up, kicks it around, that's through, gets his second. I like the way this kid plays. He is a corker. And West Adelaide are back in front.
Well, that was a good movement. Second goal to Dempsey, and West Adelaide putting on a little spurt here at the end of this second quarter. And that was a good goal by Dempsey. He's kicked his second, but has certainly got a long way to go with his career, but moving well here at the Bay today, David. I like, as you said, he's good. He's one of the good young players playing here, but certainly this game is a beauty with only 1 point the difference with West in front. Back in the centre. You're on ABC Sport. Glenelg 7-6-48, trailing West 7-7-49. 1 point ball game near half time at the Bay Oval. Big Fogden thumps the ball away. Can West get another one? The Bays will try to stop that. Kick away by Andriski, and then gets a hand in there. Carlson can't get it out. Another bounce down about 15 metres away from the centre circle. Big pack of players there. Tight game, a few mistakes, but some talent out there. A lot of young talent, so you'd expect some mistakes with them, but a very tight game. That's the best thing about football games if they're competitive. Handball away by Gigney, goes to no one but Connell for West Adelaide. He drives an attack, and Richardson, getting kicks late in the second quarter, has grabbed it at point blank range, 35 metres out from goal.
Gigney just let Richardson get away. He's actually been very well held in the first half, but in the last 5 minutes, Gigney has just lost a little bit of concentration, and Richardson's got away from him on 2 occasions. Now, for a half forward, that could be a problem. They can kick 2 or 3 goals in 5 minutes and really have an impact on the game, and that's what Richardson is about to do here.
He should kick this. Runs into about 35 metres. Got the ponytail, but that won't affect his kicking. He's put it through. That was a very important kick. He's whacked it through, and Richardson gets his first goal. He missed a long one just before, but Glenelg now trail 7-6 to West Adelaide 8-7.
Richardson, Gary, this is the kid who came across from Richmond. He's only 21. So West Adelaide recruit pretty well generally, don't they? They don't waste too many selections.
They do. That's not their problem. It's getting it all to work together. That's why they're erratic. And Doug has said that for years. They've got good recruits, but they often don't gel them through the season.
So back in the middle, an opportunity for Glenelg to quickly get it out and get one back. It falls. Woosnam, playing by Rombotis. Pearce tries to gather it in. Raiders is there, number 2. Mellor tries to hurry one out, but good desperation in the midfield. Holds the ball in here. Now it's flicked out. Hall, Kretschmer, tough, hard runner. Through half forward he goes. Brebner interfered with, and the umpire says it's a free kick. So West Adelaide push it wide from defence. Wigney running wide, chips short. Connell finding plenty of space. Chips it high over the top. Now Eagleton is covering a paddock out there. From grandstand wing to the outer wing, now he drives it in long. Symes front position, couldn't quite take the mark. Mellor at the back tries to pick up the crumb, but Symes, the handball over the head to Fogden. What can he do with it? Needs support, gets it in the finish from Filkey. Eagleton correction, and it's wide. What a pass, look at that. Great play, and Andriski marks 35 metres out directly in front.
You're giving that as a pass, are you?
I think it was. I think it was quite deliberate. He's a good young player and he had composure. I think he just saw the jumper and just speared it in the direction.
You hit him on the chest, you can't grizzle that. But that was a good attacking move by West Adelaide. The strong Eagleton caused a lot of that by his long kicking into the forward lines to the big players, and then the little players fed off that. Good play by West Adelaide.
Andriski now one of the senior players with West Adelaide. An important kick. It'll give them a buffer as they go into half-time. They lead currently by 7 points. The 6 points here takes them to 13. So just a little buffer as we approach the half-time siren.
Second goal to Andriski. He's certainly a valuable player around the ball for the Bloods, and that was good movement. He ended up on the end of that pass, but from that distance was always going to kick it. Yeah, good comeback by West Adelaide. 9-7 leading Glenelg 7-6.
What do you think here? Is this a pass? Gary, you be the judge. Lifts the eyes.
No, I think the tackle pulled it away, but doesn't matter. The idea was there, and where it ends up is very important. But Eagleton, I've been impressed with his ball-kicking skills, and so we'll give him that one the benefit of the doubt.
So 13 points the margin as we're back in the middle. Fogden from the right, opposed to Ottens from the left. The young star, the young rucking sensation for the Tigers. Wins this one. Falls Derbanic, couldn't get clear. Out of the middle goes Content, wide, and Brebner playing well off the half-back flank, or back pocket correction. Feeds it on to Woosnam. They are running hard from defence, West Adelaide. That's their game. And the siren sounds at half-time. It's a 13-point margin in favour of West Adelaide. And Gary, I suppose we're now set for a very good second half. Yes,
I like the look of that first half. It's been like that nip and tuck all the way through, one coming at the other. But West Adelaide to go to that 9-7 to 7-6 lead over Glenelg now. It's going to be pull a bit out of the bays. They'll have to make some movement out of there, but West Adelaide with their attack starting to function, and some good players around the centre, the running players, Eagleton and Drisky, they look very good. Rombotis has made a bit of an impact as well. Yeah, I tell you what, I think they've really looked for him, and I tell you what, he's going to be a good player there, but I don't think they're going to have him very often. So at half-time here at the Bay, West Adelaide 9-7-61, lead Glenelg 7-6-48. The margin 13 points. You're watching all the action on ABC Sport. Third quarter about to get underway. Your commentators, Gary Window and Mark Nayley. There's some interesting stats there, because it has been even, and only that Mark West Adelaide just jumped away at the end of that second quarter.
Yeah, just quickly before the ball is bounced, we see Glenelg, I mean, their major possession winners have been Burke, who's had 13, Chickwidden, their rovers had 12, and also Thompson off that half-back line's had 14, but for West Adelaide, Woosnam's got 12, Dempsey 12 possessions, and Eagleton's only had 10 kicks, no handballs. Yeah,
he played a good second quarter, that Eagleton, where he had 8 touches. Bounced down in the centre of the Bay Oval. Big Fogden's done well in there. Thornborough gets this tap away, goes to the bottom of the pack. They try to blatant clear. They can't do that. Another bounce down. I'm waiting for the second half. This will be good now. It should be a good game of footy. The Bays can do it if they're good enough. Got some good players. You heard Mark Nayley say Thompson. They've got some good defenders down there. Brooks has played pretty well. West Adelaide just got in top at the end of that second quarter. Who will win this now? They'll need an effort in this third quarter. I think Fogden will try. Tries to get out there. Then goes back over it. Can't get it. Kretschmer gets it away. It goes wide. Rubenik out there wide. Hose hard the ball, got it. No one to give it to. Scrubby little kick goes around looking for Chickwidden. He's certainly lifted near the line. It's out of play. Throw in on centre wing, outer side of the ground. West lead 9-7, Glenelg 7-6. Interesting game this will be. They'll need something now. Not much wind here. Beautiful conditions at the Bay Oval on ABC Sport. There's Thornborough over the back. He's got a long reach. Gets it away. They can't do it. Bannock's been pretty quiet today. He can't get it out there. Coming back over it is all Glenelg. Rombotis getting back into this game for Glenelg. Goes long into the centre wing position. Knocked away from behind. All Glenelg in there. Rubenik gets a handball away. It's Kretschmer. He's got it. Goes into attack. Looking down there but not finding Bartlett. Over the back. That'll allow Coghill. He's got it. Gets it away, and the Bay's in trouble down there as Symes has got it. Handballs long. Wigney it was. And they'll clear from defence out there.
Connell into the midfield. Thompson from half-back. I notice that Mark Visca is not back there. We might just check with Rob Popplestone in a moment about Visca's injury. Thilke, Brebner, Dempsey. Did well, didn't he? Very calm. Walsh over the top. Brebner goes to ground, and that's a dead heat. There'll be a bounce at the umpire as we go down to Rob Popplestone to tell us what's happened with Mark Visca.
I've just had a look at Mark Visca. He's actually sitting very sick and sorry for himself in the Glenelg huddle there, or in the Glenelg shelter, and I can tell you that he's got an ice pack over his right eye and cheek, and I fear actually the worst, because something must be very serious to keep someone as tough as Mark Visca off the field for this amount of time.
Yes, let's hope it's not serious. He is a tough player.
Where'd he get that then?
Well, that first bump he took on was who was the player? Barrett. When he first had that first bump, we just saw him when he got up, he was holding the side of his face, so it might have happened there. He could possibly be a bit sore and sorry for himself after that incident.
Carlson to the far side. This is Coghill, number 27, only a 22-year-old, a rookie draft taken by the Crows. Big fly, no mark. Loose ball falls. Kretschmer with pace, did it pretty well. He's cool as a cucumber, this kid. And I don't know that that's the best kick that Wigney's ever kicked. Gigney. And Pearce takes the free kick. A little long. Eagleton, left footer, round the corner, looked pretty good. Yep, good call, Mark Nayley. Comment Mark Nayley, and Eagleton gets his third. He's been damaging off a wing.
Yeah, too soft. There's no pressure out there applied by the base players out there. It was just too easy. I mean, the kick just came in. No Bay player wanted to commit himself. We just saw young Eagleton come in. Just watch this here. Just no pressure. Just stood back and watched him. Players around him there, number 9, which was Burke, just should have gone at him a lot harder because he just turned. He was only 35 metres out. Another goal.
Very smooth mover, isn't he, Nathan Eagleton? And he's got a future, all 3 goals today, but I've liked the way he's used the ball. He certainly can run and been a sensation on the centre wing. West 10-7, leading Glenelg 7-6. Bounce down the centre. The Bays will have to do something. Richardson barges through, tries to split the pack. Good handball away by Wisdom. They're on the run, West Adelaide. In long, looking for Symes in the forward pocket. He can't get to it before it goes out of play. Graham Corns sitting up there in the audience.
Sean Tasker.
Sean Tasker there.
Right on his
Rashudo there
shoulder.
too. Mark Rashudo alongside Cornsey. Oh, Cornsey will be coaching him. There's the throw in. West Adelaide, Symes tries to get up in front. Goes down the front, picked up by Thornborough. He can't get much of a kick. Oh, Dempsey does well. Breaks clear, does a beautiful handball to Richardson. He goes onto the right leg, drives it long in towards goal at that southern end of the Bay Oval. It's well offline, and West Adelaide have missed that opportunity. They go to 10-8, leading Glenelg 7-6.
I just saw a sight there at half-time also when the mini league ran out. Have a guess who their coach was? The Glenelg coach. David Marshall. He was out there coaching the young fellas. I don't know, there's a few punches being thrown, not many. I think he's trying to push himself away there as Kretschmer with Ed Richardson in hand.
Boys will be boys. Alistair Burke. Long ball towards centre half forward. Bartlett, gee, he's been well held today by Wigney. Give Wigney the due there. He really just bustled him out of each contest. Brebner, a high ball. Thompson loves these. Sits up nicely, off hands, goes Rombotis, crashes through. Andriski stood his ground beautifully. Richardson flicks it out to Eagleton. In turn has Mellor. He thumps a long ball, but Thornborough, just sitting back, a kick behind play, plucks it off and goes long. Pearce will sit underneath this one. Chigwin and good courage. He really committed himself to the task there. Woosnam wasn't quite sure. Now Pearce thumps the ball forward into space. Bartlett needs to do something. Bannock off to Walsh, concedes a little bit of ground, and at the back door it's Filkey, the veteran, chipping short, and Brown marks at the true centre half back position.
Yeah, that was good movement. They're looking to get on top now, West Adelaide. Brown, a good young player for the Bloods, goes into the centre half back position. They're having a look now. There's plenty of loose players, and Drisky on the end of that one. Good left foot kick. He always goes long. That's a lovely controlled kick to half forward. It gets knocked down to the front of the pack. Thornborough trying hard there for the Bays, gets it away. They're out of a bit of trouble. Thompson, one of the big kick winners on the ground, kicks long into attack, but it's all West Adelaide down there, doing beautifully down there. Bannock's grab, they handle away. Ingleton on the end of it at centre wing, getting many kicks for the Bloods. Goes onto that trusty left foot, well over the centre half forward position. Knocked away from behind by Gigney. It's good play. Comes down to Carlson. He's tackled when not in possession. The Bays have got a chance here. Plenty of loose players. No one running to the position though. As Rubenik gets it, kicks it long into the half forward area. Knocked away. Not much thought going into attack for the Bays as it goes near the line, and now Wisdom will get him out of trouble.
Wigney around the corner, missed Andriski. Stolen away by Chigwidden. He's working pretty hard. His work rate has lifted. So's this fellow's. Kretschmer, when he fires, Glenelg look pretty good. To the far side he goes. The lead is on from Ottens. The big fellow sets himself. 2 hands to the ball. Couldn't complete it. Brown crashes in over the top. Comes up with the cherry. Throws it out to Wigney, who just inside the line thumps it forward. It's taken away by Walsh. He's upended. Look at the bodies. It's great commitment out there. Riley. Trent Riley on the bottom of the pack. Norwood and South. We might just go for an update there. It's the Red Leagues by 10 goals, Gary, and that can't be good for the South Adelaide team.
No, we called it before the game, but that's a real hiding. Norwood at Norwood, pretty tough, but that's a big 59-point lead for the Redlegs. Outer side of the ground. Walsh in there. He's been on the ground for a while for West Adelaide. He didn't start, but he's been a good try for them down there in defence. The Bays have got it. Doesn't kick away. That looks pretty good. That's Scripps it off the boot. That looked beautiful. Mark Nayley whacked that through. The Bays needed that. They go to 8-6. That's his second. West Adelaide 10-8.
See, there's 7.5 minutes into this third quarter. Good bit of work here. Ottens just got his hand on the ball, gives it over to Chigwidden. You just see going back to Scripps. Fumbles it a couple of times, nearly lost it. Behind play we saw Chigwidden go down, but Scripps just kept a level head, and put it right through the middle of the goals.
Pretty good movement. That Scripps doesn't look bad. I've seen him a few times, but he's a good kick. They've got some lovely kicks out there, but they're not getting the ball. Their attack here through the half-forward line, the Bays, is terrible.
Yeah, that's a fair call. Scripps is one of 3 players in this Glenelg side that have come from Shepparton. Paul is one of the others, and so to Alistair Burke. And Scripsy has a couple. Mark Nally, sorry, you're just checking on me. You all right?
Bottas getting into this game too.
Bombodus to the far side. Nice kick, wasn't it? Scripps just front position. Couldn't complete the mark. Now needs support. Gets it from Kretschmer, who's always around the mark. Crashes through Kretschmer. Takes the body nicely. Now, Glenelg need just to find a mark and kick a couple of quick goals to get themselves right back in the action here. And that's exactly what Hall's done. Around the corner he goes. It was a good feed from Thornborough, and it's right through the middle. He gets his second.
There again, Glenelg, they're just not giving in at the moment. They're just still trying. They're still pecking away at that goal square. You see, it's not pretty football. Just a good bit of support there shown by Ricky Hall. He throws it on his left boot and puts it right through the middle of the goals again. But Glenelg are just not giving up. They need to stay with them. In fact, they need to get in front. They're not far behind at the moment. They're looking around about 8 points. No chance. We see Wally Elliott, their team manager, looking there with glasses on. There's a few players. McCulley's still sitting on the bench, Gary.
Yes, that's unusual to me. Comments there from Mark Naley for ABC Sport. It's a good game of footy here at the Bay. West Adelaide 10-8, leading Glenelg 9-6. Like what you said, Mark, the Bays won't lay down, and any team coached by the Stringer boys, Wayne Stringer, would never give up. They just haven't had the attacking movements. There's the way. Eagleton's met high, allowed to play on, goes on his right foot. It's not as good as his natural left foot. Here's another player left foot. He gets a handball away, and Drisky over to Dempsey. Richardson dives the ball at centre half forward, pushes out to Mellor. That wasn't a bad option. Mellor kicks off the ground, runs hard at it, puts his hand. He's one of those players always gets his hands in, does it? Handballs away. It's Connell. He looks for someone. There's danger. It's Richardson grabbing it to the half-forward flank for West Adelaide.
Yeah, good grab by Richardson. He was out in front. Came across from centre half forward. Just put his body on the line there. Just came out in front and had a fair bit of pressure there by Thompson, who's played a fantastic game this afternoon. But Richardson already got 1 goal, lining up for his second.
Fair way out, isn't he? I know, probably 45 by the time he kicks. He's taking a lot of time. Tucked in that left half-forward area of the Bay Oval. No wind at all here. See what he goes. Yeah, he goes into about 48 metres. Need a good kick. He's put it on its way. The umpire running across. That's offline for 1 point. He could have done a little bit better with that, but a little bit out of his distance. West Adelaide 10-9, leading Glenelg 9-6.
1 goal 3, Mark. Is that right? Is that what he's kicked? Ed Richardson?
Yep, that'll be right.
He's found a bit of the ball. 7 kicks, 2 handballs. He just hasn't kicked straight. Scripps playing at half forward, drifting down into defence to take that kick. Rombotis missed it. It's little Pierce, 34. Rombotis has lost the boot. Now he recovers, gathers the ball. He's blood sandwiched. 3-1, not fair.
Yeah, he needs a game, doesn't he? It's good to see him. He's getting better as the game goes on. West by 9 points.
I know Michael Noonan has great regard for Rombotis.
He does?
Yeah, great regard. Thought he could be a very good player. Played him in the middle for Fitzroy a number of times. Even when they were struggling, he thought he could be a player of the future, and he had some talent. So, you know, he's a fair judge, generally.
Oh, he certainly is, and he's got courage. That's what I always look for in a player first. You've got to have a bit of courage, and Rombotis, I see him knocked out by the Crows there one day, came back on and played a good game. Throw in, left half forward flank region. Need a score here. It's getting to the Mules game can be won now. There's a hard tackle. That's all that they get upset with that. Going down hard there was Hall. He'll take the free kick.
Oh.
A bit of blood there. Bit of off. I don't know where he got that from.
It's a high tackle, wasn't it?
Coming out there, but this is the way the Glenelg have to play. They've got to commit themselves at the football. A lot of the players at the football at the moment, they're still down by 9 points. They're going to get in front of it by the end of this third quarter. That's the type of play that they need.
It's a comment from Mark Nardi. Dead right as Bartlett goes long. Goes to the north near the Bay Oval. Looking there for the leading player. They're all trying to jump down there. Not too many staying down. Connell reads it best for the Bloods. Kicks up at the centre wing. McCulley's on the ground there. He's paid the mark. He got headed early hit too. Thought he'd be on the ground more, McCulley. I had a bit of time for him in the past as the handball away is good. The Bays through Burke. Going to the half-forward line. Fogden does well. Thumps the ball to centre wing. Here's a race. Walsh always attacks the ball. Can't take it with it. Goes back the redhead after it. He never gives in, that lad. Hard tackling out there. He's holding his head now. And we'll get a free kick for that action. Look at him. He's a pretty rough-looking customer. Can play footy. Walsh now for the Bloods. Centre half forward. Who's there to take a grab? Symes up from behind, can't get it. Goes to the back. Knock away by the Bays. Gets it away again. Goes towards Chigwidden. Chigwidden at the half-back line. Gets it further field to Brooks. He handballs. Got Gigney over there. He's tackled high, but he bent down over it. He deserved that, but here they come through again. Walsh again drives it in. It was Mellors grabbed that ball at centre half forward, coming out on a long lead. Good mark to the West Adelaide player, number 4.
Not sure that Raiders is suited to a defensive position, Gary.
Not sure. I am sure.
Yeah, well,
I can't believe some of these coaching moves, but it happens all the time in the AFL. I know it's a different era now, but and I think Mark Nayley made the comment before, he's a wingman mainly, and he's playing full back like a wingman. Mellor now. Very important kick for the Bloods. They lead 10-9, Glenelg 9-6. He usually kicks these. It's a lovely left foot kick. The umpire says, that'll do me. Straight over his head for 1 goal. That's his second. Good play by the Bloods. They go to 11 goals 9, leading Glenelg 9-6.
That's Mellor's second for the afternoon. 5 o'clock shadow already. Only 3:15. A bit later than that, 4 o'clock. But a good player, as we said. You can line him up. There's players that know how to play full forward, and he does. Greg Mellor is a specialist full forward. He will kick goals, but we just saw a play come off before, down the boundary. Rob Popplestone, how is he?
Well, Hall, of course, left the ground just moments ago. He's received a cut under the chin, which is being attended to right now, and probably be available within a few minutes' time.
you could just get a needle and thread out, Rob. You might fix that for us before the next break. As another ball up takes place. 75 plays 60. It's a 15-point ball game. West Adelaide have the upper hand. And at half-time, it was West by 13 points. So Glenelg really needed a couple of quick goals. Infringement against McCulley goes to Fogden for a push in the back in the ruck contest. So Fogden, who's played pretty well today.
He has.
5 kicks, 4 handballs and 5 marks. Off to Brown. Shorter still is Connell, who's starting to work himself into this game. I think he's looked a little bit more confident as the game's gone on. Playing off the wing, I think he enjoys the open space. Chips in short. Andriski worked hard. He came from centre half forward, came across double back, and then came back at one more run before the pass finally came. So he worked hard for that kick.
Hard kick from here. I'll tell you what, this is the type of lad that can kick it though.
There's a left footer. It's made for him. It'll be right to left. He'll take the near post, punch it right at it. It'll push away just a fraction. That's exactly what's happened. Just didn't quite take enough of the near post. It's a point. 16 points the margin.
Yeah, and Driscoll's had 10 possessions so far going to this third quarter. Been pretty busy, been pretty active. A couple of marks there also, 2 or 3 marks. So it's handy little player to have sitting on a half-forward flank.
12 minutes of the third quarter. The Bays have got to do something. Glenelg 9-6, trailing West 11-10. What can they do? They're mucking around in defence, not getting very far. Rubnik's got it, gets away to Brooks. He'll go long to the outer side of the ground. Who's out there? Gigney should fly high for this one. Has to stay down then, but he's a tall player and grabs it, half-back line. This is where they fall down now. A few people there. Goes in the McCulley direction, trying to get over. Can the big bloke mark? He is from behind. Now that's good. Now quickly down into attack they've got to do. The handball away is good. The leading players there. That looks well placed to Bartlett. He's grabbed it. That's good movement. That's far cleaner movement for the Bays. Here they go again. They don't like each other, these two sides. But Bartlett's got the mark.
Good patches of play there. Started with Gigney on the half-back flank, put a good kick up. You just pick it. I mean, we just heard Gary call it. You see McCulley just setting himself, took the big grab. Then he put out in front there. Bartlett is leading from the top of the square down the middle of the oval, possibly where Ottens wasn't moving before. He was going a lot deeper and a lot wider. Bartlett's been shifted to full forward, and just then it has paid off. He has moved, he's come out direct. Now he's kicking the ball from 40 metres out, 45 metres out, directly in front.
I suppose Bartlett, Gary, has to fill that void left by Jim West, doesn't he? They really need him to step up.
They certainly do. Bartlett now should kick this from out in front. Ooh, the umpire's getting across. He's coming back though. I think that's a goal. No, it's not. It's 1 point. Ooh, close. And that was a... Ooh, they're having a bit of little run in. Don't like each other. West Adelaide 11-10. Glenelg on 9-7.
Norwood step away at the parade over South Adelaide. They're 72 points clear. It's great to see a 12-game goal ball game. Do you? McCulley, big destroy from behind. Loose ball falls to Scripps. Alistair Burke got hit in the nose by the ball as it came down, by the way, and he's feeling the effects. And Bartlett marks 25 metres out. This will be an action replay of the last kick.
Got to kick this one. That was a bad miss from an experienced player. It's easy to say from up here, I know, because we've all missed them, but this game's there to be won by Glenelg if they can just get this right.
They're 15 points down. A goal here brings them back within 9 and just opens the door as we approach three-quarter time. Bartlett, who only kicked 8 goals last year, used mainly as a defender, doesn't make any mistakes. He had the decider before. That one's right through the middle. He gets his first. Glenelg go to 10-7. West Adelaide 11-10 on ABC Sport.
A little deja vu about that one. Takes the mark. It's a little bit of pressure from behind. That's Big Woolsman coming over the top. Just let him know that he can't take his marks too easily, but he goes back in exactly the same position that he was only moments before. This time he puts it through the middle. The kids at the back of the oval, they just love catching that football, marking and kicking back over the fence. But that's a goal much needed by the Glenelg side.
15 minutes into the third quarter. What can the Bays do now? They trail 10-7 to West Adelaide 11-10. Bounce down. Important movement out of here. Rubinick does well. Thompson's got it. He plays on. The umps let him go. I don't like that rule, but he's running down through. Where's he going? Can he get through? Handball's away. Good, he's got out of it. 55. Conton goes towards goal. It's in the square, and there's no one there to grab it. It's through for the Bay to score.
Now, he bounced the ball and was tackled. Now, for me, that's all over.
No, he bounced it, and it muffled itself. It bounced forward on him. He couldn't quite pick it up that quickly. He tried hard, and someone's gone down with cramp. It's only halfway to the third quarter. Well, we just see here, David, just there, we just saw the handball go across. He didn't quite pick it up there, but just before that, he bounced it by himself, and the ball bounced forward on him. He couldn't quite pick it up cleanly enough. Bartlett was in the right position there. He didn't go up for it.
When you back the umpires, I'll have to believe you.
Yeah, that's for sure.
No argument there, is there? And
Love the men in white.
Rombotis is getting a little bit of attention.
Kick out comes to Rubinick direction. McCulley's done well in this quarter. Handball's away. Scripps has got it. He's got a loop. That's a beautiful handball. Gone 20 metres. That's a real good handball out to number 9, Alistair Burke. He goes towards goal. They can't mark it down there. It's over the line and through for another point for the Bays. They're making some hard ones here. They need to kick goals. They're 10-9. West Adelaide 11-10.
Yeah, Burke then just had to turn, had to run, just to break away from where he was then, just get himself a little bit closer, balance himself a little bit, and he would have kicked the goal. What he did was took it, turned, and just kicked it straight away, and that's why he pushed it right.
Pretty impressed with West Adelaide set plays generally today from fullback. They've used the ball pretty well, so too have Glenelg for that matter. Fogden, back it goes in the direction of Green. He bustles away, just bumps over Pearce and then kicks it straight to the boundary line. West Adelaide will regroup.
That was a lot of fiddling around there, wasn't it?
Yeah, Ashley Green only had 2 kicks this afternoon. Been pretty quiet. Big, solid type of player. You've got to use that. If you've got that size around you, you haven't got much skill to go with it or pace, you've got to use that bulk and that strength.
What can the Bays do here? They need a goal, but Fogden doing well. He knocks it away. Here they come through hard. That was a good snap towards goal. It was close. Offline. Scripps again wasn't through for a point. Or they need goals though. They're catching up in the points department. 10-10 it is now to West Adelaide 11. And 1 goal the difference. We've had about 16 minutes into this third quarter. Vital area now, Mark. They've got to get a goal.
So true. This is an important stage of the game. This next goal will be very important. We're just starting time on period here in the third quarter at Glenelg Oval. The next goal will be very important to either side.
I think this does tell us about the standard of SANFL. 8th plays 9th, and a game like this, which is really absorbing, it's a beauty, and this game crucial for both teams.
Both teams, I reckon you're right there, David, and it certainly is, and yes, it's going to be on. The quarter to go after this is going to be an absolute ripper because there's both sides, a bit of sparks here today, don't like each other.
You see Alan Stringer there, the B-grade coach and also brother of the coach of the A-grade side, Wayne Stringer, down handling the microphone. Normally that sort of a B-grade coach is normally sitting up in the grandstand with the senior coach making decisions also.
Interchange, John Rombotis is off.
Bit of cramp.
I think he's just taking a run. He'll certainly be better for it because he's already highlighted his arrival as a quality player in South Australia. No doubt about that with what he's done today. Compton tackled, gang tackled, goes to ground, almost handed the ball away to Chigwidden, but Bannock intercepted and just peeled it off and forced umpire Doddridge to bounce.
Joshua Contin, what a lad he's been. Only 1 game, second game, but he's played pretty well.
That's Ricky Hall. They're mummifying him.
Is he going back on like that?
That's what they reckon I need. That's what they reckon I need.
Okay. I don't think with the sweat that they could get a bandage to stick, so they've gone over the top. It's an interesting one, isn't it? Actually, you hope, to be fair, we're being frivolous, but you hope that his jaw's okay when you see a bandage like that.
Slight snick.
Okay.
Yeah, I think just blood rule. They're trying to stop the blood.
Seen some funny ones happen like that, though. Thornborough in front position. Symes did well to use his body. Just punches it out in the direction of Eagleton. He's been a very impressive player today, no doubt about that. 14 kicks, 1 handball for him. Big fly. Thompson, he's up to it. He just pushed his opponent under the ball and just really gave him no opportunity. Gigney across the line, there'll be a throw in. We've played just on 20 minutes of the third term. Hall prepares to come back on.
Young, some of them players that are coming off there at time. Number 42 for the Bays.
Trent Riley, I think he's got a leg injury, Gary, too. He doesn't look completely fit altogether as well.
Baby faces though, aren't they? Bounce down, big pack of players now. It's getting desperate out there. Try to get it through. Miller does the tackling. It's down the bottom. There'll be another bounce down. In between half forward flank and centre wing out of the side of the ground. Glenelg trail by 1 goal. They're 10-10, West Adelaide 11-10. Good game of footy on ABC Sport. The Bay Oval. Bounce down, knock away, out of side of the ground. Andriski's done well today. Gets the kick into the full forward area. Bounces awkwardly for all the players in there. Come in, they're going to give that out on the full. That was stiff there. That was King. It came off his, I thought his knee, but it must have been mark off the boot because they've paid it way of Mello. He goes short. Leading player in Bannock's been quiet today, and he's got the mark.
Yeah, Bannock's had 16 possessions up to this stage in the third quarter. Hasn't really been that quiet. They played pretty wide of each other as Bannock, and also had players like Kretschmer around him today, and also Chick Widdens had a bit of a run in the middle with him. But the player Bannock, I just slightly disagree. I reckon he hadn't been too bad this afternoon.
Bannock, Mark Marty reckons he's all right, so he better kick this goal now. He runs in, needs the goal. The umpire right behind it there says it's offline and through for the minor score. West 11-11, lead Glenelg 10-10. Interesting player, Bannock. He's been a big possession winner for the West Adelaide side since coming over. Another one of Doug's recruits, and he's certainly been valuable to them. Brooks waiting to bring the ball in. Up there you can see Michael Taylor. He'd have a few worries. Brooks comes into grandstand side. Big Gigney there, knocked away by Carlson. Was good from defensive position behind the play, out of play on the right half forward flank for West Adelaide. Seconds ticking away, getting near the end of the third quarter. It's going to be a ripper the last. Big pack of players there. McCulley flies up on his own, does well, gets it away to Thompson. Kick out of there, goes to the centre of the ground. Mellor with a chance, runs into Connell. Connell, high kick. Centre half forward, who's under that? The Flyers are all there. Oh, that was a good grab. It looked like Brown from behind. Nearly had that, can't get it. Battling out of there is Glenelg's Ridgeway. He couldn't get it clear. Now the umpire has come in and paid him, has he, for in the back.
You put your body over the ball, Gary. You just see that you've got to keep your head over, tail up. Again, I think it's Bannock, isn't it, coming up with the football. He's a bit of a head down, tail up type of player as well. Pretty solid, pretty tough. That type of player that seems to grab the attention of umpires. He's always at the bottom of the packs. But he'll line up here, he'll kick from outside 50. From about 55, 60 metres he'll kick from. Will he make the distance? I don't think so. He'll look for a pass if possible.
Goes for distance and trying to do that. Kicks into the man on the mark. Radis comes wide. There's little Conson again for the Bays. He gets a real scrappy kick off the boot, but it goes way up to the outer side of the ground, out of play.
It's probably the only kick he could do, isn't it? As an update, Norwood and South Adelaide, it's the Redlegs by 67 points, and they're well and truly in control there. So big percentage for the Redlegs at the parade. Richardson and McCulley. McCulley wins it. Compton couldn't quite gather it in. Kretschmer does, flicks it away. Manhandled, goes to ground. Now Dempsey, isn't he clever? He pirouettes away out of the pack. Hurried kick towards half forward. King couldn't quite get there, made a great effort to almost take it. Now Thompson gathers it in, tries to push it out, but it's a bounce. 7 points the margin, 22 minutes gone, third term. This game's still up for grabs. Number 15 is Hall with that jaw heavily bandaged. Ottens thumps it down. Compton to the far side. It's a high ball. Kretschmer will work hard underneath this one. Now Kretschmer seems to have the job on Dempsey, and that's not a bad move by Coach Stringer. Eagleton tries to just toe poke it forward. Getting out of trouble is Burke. Comes away with the ball. Spears it long and low along the boundary line. Symes will be first man there, just inside the line. Keeps it in. Gets it away to Brebner. Crashing through Hall. Great courage. With his jaw all bandaged up, he just showed no fear at all and crashed through and delivered the ball into the forward line. Now it falls Bartlett, claimed by Woosden, works hard over the top of it. Filkey stages for a free, not paid by the umpire. Coggle now on the left boot. It's a high ball, it's going to bring rain. Chigwidden just not able to get there, didn't need to in the finish. Burke was there. And Burke marks about 55 metres out deep on the half forward flank.
They need a goal here, David. This is where they're going to have to set it up. Just need a play now to create some space and take a big mark in the goal square.
Thornborough's there. Bartlett is there. Bartlett from behind. Thornborough, the big fly, hands the ball, couldn't quite drag it down. At the bottom of the pack, Green just tunnel balls it across the line. Did the sensible thing, really, didn't he? And West Adelaide's defence regroups.
Yes, interesting there. Well, he needed to grab that, didn't he? He was there, as you called it, Mark Nayley, but didn't grab it. They probably relied on it a bit too much today, the big grab down there, whereas they've looked better when they've set it up. But Bartlett and these players leading into the open space. The ball goes wide, it's out of play. Throwing in that right forward pocket for the Bays. Getting near the end of the second quarter, they need a goal. They trail West 11-11, leading Glenelg 10-10 by 1-1.
You've seen the screen there is Ron Bottas talking to Alan Richardson, a player who played full forward for the West Adelaide last week. He's at the moment suffering a hamstring. Pretty tough looking play. He's got tattoos all over his body. He's got a bit of white line fever also, they tell me. When he gets across that white line, he's got a little bit of Carl Dietrich about him. We've seen his favourite player used to be Dermot Brereton.
That big Thornborough gets it down to the front of the pack. Dempsey's pulled off the ball. Symes with a chance. Handball's wide. Still a pack of players in that forward area for the Bays. They try to get it cleared. Dempsey over it again, but it's another throw-in on the outer side of the ground. About 35-40 metres away from the goals now for the Bays.
Man-for-man football now. Both coaches demanding that players just man up. It's a 7-point ball game. A goal here important to both teams. Symes trying to thump it forward. Wigney off the ground. Brooks working hard over the top of the ball, and Drisky just right over the top of him. And I think the umpire comes in to sort it out. Brooks has been solid today from defence. Used to be a centreman and a winger occasionally, but in the latter part of his career, as he's got a little older, his fitness has failed. He's been quite useful at half-back or a back pocket. Today he's been pretty serviceable. Burke dumps it out. Kretschmer always works hard. So does this fellow. Chigwidden, 4 times best and fairest winner. And the siren sounds. It's a 7-point ball game at three-quarter time.
Yeah, it was a good quarter there, and it's still kept even. West 11-11, leading Glenelg 10-10.
So it really has been a great sort of third quarter there. An opportunity there for Glenelg really to get back in it. They didn't let West get away, as we see 7-point margin at the moment. But a couple of the better players in that quarter. Chigwidden still a tremendous work rate. The player that's been impressing me for West Adelaide has been Andriski, who's been very, very busy. And Ingleton, who's kicked 3 goals up to this stage. He has been very, very busy on that half-forward flank also. But just a difference in the moment. I don't know which way this game is going to go. It could go either way.
So at three-quarter time, it's West Adelaide 11-11, 77, leading Glenelg 10 goals, 10, 70. All the action coming to you on ABC Sport. Final quarter underway at Glenelg Oval. Your commentators, Mark Nayley and Gary Window.
Very good, Mark. West Adelaide 11-11, leading Glenelg 10-10. A 7-point lead to West Adelaide. What do you reckon, Mark?
It's going to be very, very hard to pick. We see the umpire holding the ball in the area, but I will stick with the Bays. As I started the game, I said the Bays by a couple of goals. I agree with Poppy.
It will be interesting. West Adelaide lead by 7 points. There'll be a clash. This is when games have got to be won, as the coaches both out there try to stir their side up. This is it. They've both got a chance. They've only the side that settles best and can get it down there quickly for goals. Another bounce down right in the centre of the ground. Sun coming out.
I just see very, very quickly Alan Stringer has put 2 big men up in the forward line. He's got Bartlett at full forward. Standing right alongside him is McCulley. So a couple of players there, 6'2", 6'5", standing in the goal square, waiting for the ball to come in long and strong.
Chigwidden, those little runners for the Bays doing something as Rubenik drives it long. That's a beautifully placed kick at centre half forward, the big one. Heard Mark Nayley mention. Thornborough's got loose players there. Chiggy was running to the spot. Didn't give it
long. Far too long. You've got 2 big blokes in the goal square. Pump it in there as quickly as you possibly can.
There it goes now. Can someone take the grab? Knocked away from behind. That was a good thump away by West Adelaide's green. Goes to the outer side of the ground. Connell, beautifully placed kick, finds Carlson. Carlson, half-back flank for the Bloods, outer side of the ground. Beautiful conditions here today for this game. Further around the field, and it finds Wigney. Wigney looking for someone to kick to. Not much happening out there at the moment. The long kick goes in. Coming over the back was Richardson, couldn't mark. Picked up a kick that looked like Eagleton again was. It's blocked off the boot. It's out of play.
Mark, I was just about to say that Wigney, although he hasn't picked up a lot of stats at centre half-back, he's been a very solid player for West Adelaide.
I wouldn't say it was one of his better games I see, but just another move he's made. He's put Thornborough to centre half forward. So we've got 3-prong attack, 3 blokes in the forward line by themselves that are 6'5" plus. He's given a big job here to Ottens, who now has to take the ruck in the last quarter.
Alan Stringer's been forced to play 3 separate opponents on Wigney, and it's not been a position that Glenelg have dominated today. Although he has been helped by Fogden playing that kick behind play as a ruckman does. And Fogden's played pretty well in the ruck for West Adelaide. Loose ball falls. Ottens couldn't get clear of that one. Alistair Burke hurries one out, just shuffles it forward into space. Fogden beaten by the bounce. Oh, Hall, free kick, no worries about that. Pulled off the ball horribly, and will take the free kick. So Hall, with that chin heavily bandaged, goes through half forward. Now this is one of the things that Glenelg have done most of today. They've played wide, Gary, and they've played right into West Adelaide's hands.
Yeah, I agree with that. They've got the big players there. The long kick should be going. A big Thornborough sitting there, and you've got Ottens and you've got McCulley sitting down the forward line. You've got big players. Get it down there quick to them. They've got a good chance.
He's also lined up in the half-forward flanks. He's got 3 players in 55 and Colton. You've got Pearce down there also, and also young Hall. All 3 players would be around about the 5'6", 5'7" mark.
Outer side of the ground. West Adelaide through Walsh. He gets it away. Got it out there to Symes. He gets a good handball inside. They're running now. Carlson on the end of that. Goes long for the Bloods. It goes into the centre half forward position. Richardson can't mark. Makes a contest of it. Drops down there. Mellors pulled off the ball. Didn't have it. Kicked off the ground. Tried to get it clear. Good battling work there. Tandrisky put his body over the ball and is paid the free kick. Tandrisky too far out to score, but is a good kick. Puts it up in the right place. Up from behind was Brown, couldn't mark it. Comes down to the front of the pack and Gigney's got it for the Bays. He comes wide. Up there wide, running in to the half-back flank. They can't get it. Eagleton does well. Handballs it back in play. Can't control the ball. They're playing around with it in there. So all the Bays knocked off it there was Chigwidden. He can't do it. Eagleton does well. Woosnam's got it. Goes for goal. A few errors in there. The high kick in there goes off the hands of the back. No, it's picked up and kicked through for goal, I believe, by big Symes. He's whacked it through. It's a great goal. West Adelaide get it. That's his second. West Adelaide 12-11, leading Glenelg 10-10.
Yeah, just good solid work here. Chigwidden got bumped off the ball, lost it. In there as quick as possible was the young Dean Woosnam. He's taken it, kicked it forward. From behind was big Timothy Symes. Just used his body just slightly, just pushed the Glenelg player forward. Couldn't take the mark, but got the ball very, very quickly onto his boot and brought up another goal. That just extends West Adelaide's lead, and that's a good goal, and Glenelg need to respond.
13 points the margin. Do Glenelg need to respond? They need this one. The next goal's pretty important. If West Adelaide get it, you'd suspect that their tails will be right in the air. And if Glenelg get it, they keep in the match now. West Adelaide have gone forward. Bannock to Carlson. Eagleton's there. Ricochets off his back. Now he gathers it and he snaps. It's an important kick. And what's he done? He's got his 4th. What a big game this youngster's played. An important goal for West Adelaide. They now step 19 points clear, and Eagleton with his 4th is ecstatic.
Now just watch it from the time the ball bounced. He just took off towards the goal square. Glenelg player didn't follow down. He caught him towards there as the ball came in high. But Eagleton just saw the players get the ball out of centre. He decided to run and give himself an option going forward. The ball came to the ground. He was there, cleaned it up, kicked the goal. That's his 4th for the afternoon. Well done, Eagleton.
16 kicks. That's a great performance by the kid out there, and with 4 goals to finish it off. He is a good finisher. That was no exception on the wrong foot, his right foot on that occasion. But really putting West Adelaide are putting in the hard ones now. They go to 13-11, leading Glenelg 10-10. About 3 minutes into this final quarter. Cogden's played well today. Gets it down to Andrisky. He goes to attack. West Adelaide going to attack incessantly now, taken by the big player there, and Richardson gets it away to Walsh. A little kick goes in the Symes direction. Knocked away. Plenty of players there. Connell gets it away. Richardson again goes long. That's from 55 metres. It's going for a goal. It bounces in this goal. Oh, it's a leg break. It missed, but it was a good kick from a long way out. Another point to West Adelaide. 13-12 they go to. Glenelg 10-10.
The Bays have got to respond. They just can't let Glenelg just keep pumping toward. The West Adelaide pump towards this goal square. The next forward thrust has to come from the Bays.
Brooks to bring the ball back into play. Long kick. Grandstand side, knocked away. The kids in there trying to battle through the Bays. They're under a lot of pressure at the moment. Symes has lifted his game, gets the handball away. Raiders over there runs out of play. Throw in, but he's thrown after the instance. He's on again out there. And the umpire now will...
Oh, come on, umpire. The play got thrown. Raiders was thrown into the fence. The free kick should have been given right there and then. Umpire didn't see, but they're looking straight into the sun. And what happens here? Oh, gee, look, what's this? Grabs him. It's out of bounds, throws him into the fence. The umpire couldn't see because the sun was in his eyes. Fair enough, I copped that. But then to give the free kick away, ridiculous.
Not a good decision. The ball on centre wing, heavy tackling there on Egerton. You're right there, the umpire's got his eyes shielded. He can't see with the sun. Oh, Thornborough goes through hard. They'll need to do that, the Bays. Handball away is good. The Bays get out of trouble there through Pearce up the centre wing, but it's all West Adelaide there. And it's a big fella, Fogden, getting very high in their best players. Not a good kick. Handball away, though, is good. Just running through there for West Adelaide is Gilbert. Kicked away the outer side of the ground, and that's out there. The Bays, an easy mark taken by Burke.
Burke from half-back. They'll need to just play on and explode from half-back. Haven't they missed Visca? Rubenik. Back it goes to Scripps through centre half forward. Wigney again spoils. He's done that all day. Just thwarted any Glenelg attack. Andriski feeding off to Woosnam. Hasn't he been special? From half-back today, he's run all day. And Mallow, who's been terrific, takes a terrific mark. Kick number 9 coming up for him. He's got 2 goals, 2 already. And he missed a couple of sitters in the first quarter. He could well have had 4 already.
Nice smooth mover, isn't he? He's one of those players you like to watch, and that was a great grab.
Only 25 years of age. He kicked 32 last year. Simister was 50. Woosnam was 47. The only 2 players in the club ahead of him. And Simister's gone. And Woosnam's playing in defence, so they'll rely on him. He bends that one back.
Funny ones.
Bend it back, and it's a goal. He gets his 3rd. And West Adelaide take a commanding lead. They're 14-12, leading Glenelg 10-10 on ABC Sport.
It started from centre half back. You see here taking the mark here, but it really started from Stuart Wigney. You just rely on players, especially centre half back, just every time you go, know that he's in a contest, the ball's coming to the front of the pack. It was a strong spoil, but finished off beautifully by Greg Mellor. You see the crowd there applauding it. They just feel at the moment that West Adelaide just might have enough to get them home.
7 minutes of the final quarter, you'd start to think that way. West 14-12 lead Glenelg 10-10. ABC Sport at the Bay Oval. Been a great day of football. That's a high tackle on Carlson. He'll take it from the centre of the ground. Making mistakes now, the Bays, where they've got to settle.
Well, what sort of game will West and Sturt be next week, Gary?
Oh, that'll be a ripper. It's good to see Sturt up there, isn't it? Good for Phil Carman, and they're getting Sturt back into it. That's a long kick. That's better. Straight down to attack. Symes over the back, but there's a free kick picked out in front there. Symes has marked the ball, but there's a free kick to go the way, and that dangerous player, Mellor.
Just kicked the last goal to Greg Mellor. You got another opportunity here where he received a free kick. It was either that or Timothy Symes had the mark. Well, really, either one of them had it. He's not that far out, not on that much of an angle either. He should kick this if he's good enough.
Beautiful long play that's got it down there for them, hasn't it? Mellor is on the end of it, but West Adelaide playing a lot longer in this last quarter. Mellor, that's a lovely kick. He's put it on his way. I think that's through for number 4. It is number 4, 2 in this last quarter, 1 in the first, 1 in the third, and 2 in this final quarter. 4 goals to Greg Mellor. A good performance down there for the West Adelaide players. They go to 15 goals, 12, leading Glenelg 10-10.
They just saw it then. Glenelg players was looking around to see what the free kick was for. It was either that or Timothy Symes taking the mark. Either player would have kicked the goal. But these 4 goals for the afternoon and 2 behinds. It's a fair effort for the player, but I think you put down your glasses now, fellas. The West Adelaide side are just on top. Just too many players around the ball.
Well, West take on Sturt next week. The Eagles play Glenelg at Woodville, and you just worry about whether Glenelg can lift themselves out of this. Today was an important one for them, and you worry about their confidence. Rubenik off to McCulley. A hurried kick through half forward. This fellow's played well. Don't worry about that. Look at the stats, and it won't show terribly. But he's been very important to West Adelaide's defence today, as this fellow has 2 on a wing. Eagleton really has made a name for himself today. Burke. And look at this fellow, just knocked up picking kicks. 19 kicks for him. Eagleton to Connell. Connell just inside the line. What target has he got? He chips it in short. Mellor used his body beautifully. Good spoil from behind. Brooks thumps it out. Over the top of it now, working hard. Rombotis on the field and Stacks on the nil as we go down to the boundary line. And Rob Popplestone.
Just a little bit of my thunder then, DB. I was going to tell you that Rombotis has made his return to the field in an attempt to get some drive through that midfield. Kreshmer has come off the field. He was just starting to get beaten by Connell early in this quarter, and Coach Wayne Stringer saw that and made the move immediately.
Bounce down, left half forward flank. West Adelaide doing all their attacking. Coming through was Thompson. He'll get the free kick. Played a pretty good game. Fell out of a bit probably in this quarter, but has had many touches for Glenelg in defence today. He's a long left footer. There's a few of them in both these sides. Goes to play on. Don't think he's quick enough to do that. He's not. He's caught. Throws the ball away. And now the umpire's going to give him a legging one. I thought it could have been over the ball before that. but it's legging, and Thompson will go back in the same position to clear the ball. He's a very likely looking customer, isn't he, this fella? And he's a tall player, kicks well, only young. Onto the left foot, centre wing position. The Bays need something, a big grab, something. It comes off hands to the front of the pack. They can't get it clear. Thornborough through hard. With him is Fogden, gets it away. Woosnam in there, doing well. Dempsey, good handball away. Wigney with a chance, but coming through Rombotis. That was good, courageous play. Then stopped. Took the wrong option, but he's got away with it. Kick away by Pearce is good. Goes into attack. Bounces awkwardly there for Bartlett. West Adelaide in the van have got a chance, and that's good defensive play there by Gilbert. Just kicks it, puts it out over the line for throwing on the right half forward flank.
I'll just ask Rob Popplestone if he still fancies Glenelg. Gary.
He's gone quiet down there as West Adelaide lead at 15-12. Glenelg 10-10. We've had 7 minutes into this final quarter.
Brebner taken high, no free kick. The umpire was wrong side of it. Yeah, that's fair enough. The umpire in the middle of the field saw it. And umpire Darragh Ryan was caught behind the play and missed it completely. So Craig Doddridge gave the decision from the midfield. Might just go down to Rob. You're still confident Glenelg can win this, Rob?
Can I change my tip, DB? Because at the moment West Adelaide have just got too many runners. Their key position players are absolutely killing them, and it's about time young Ottens and Thornborough started to maybe approach the game a little bit more physically and hit the ball hard to take some of this run away from West Adelaide. At this stage, West Adelaide look as though, and it's no surprise, they're going to run right away with this one.
Yeah, I think you're being a bit harsh on Ottens. He's only 17, and you couldn't expect him to be the physical body player. You might look to Bartlett, McCulley and a few of the big blokes like Thornborough, as you said, but I don't know that Otten's your man. Thompson out of bounds on the full. One of his only 2 blemishes today.
Yes, he has. Certainly the Bays, I just can't work out, Mark, what they're doing wrong, because they seem to get enough of the ball, but they haven't attacked well through half forward. Kick in, goes into the McCulley direction. Can't get it. Pack of players formed. Do they tackle hard? Bounce down.
You're right there, Gary. Just at the moment, I reckon Wayne Stringer's put all his eggs in one basket in the forward line. As I said, he's got 4 players up there, well over 6'3".
You think they're top
heavy?
heavy?
At the moment, the ball's just not getting down there.
Comment by Mark Nayley's a bounce down. Forward line for West Adelaide. What will happen here? They try to get it clear. Big McCulley can't get it. Goes back in over it. Another bounce down. As Raiders on the bottom there, he can't get it. Bounce down in that right half forward flank region.
Might ask Mark just in a moment, Gary, to give us his best players, because looking at the time clock, we'll run out of time late in the afternoon. So we'll come back to you in just a moment, Mark. Raiders, tunnel balls it. Andriski, it was a throw, so the umpire. Yep. No, he picks up a free kick. Don't forget you can buy all the ABC games of the day from the ABC shops. $34.95, I'm told, those videos. Not bad value. We can ring and order. Credit cards, I presume. Gary, be the order of the day there?
Certainly would. They're terrific videos too. Absolute rippers.
Sturt would have sold a few last week.
Oh, Dick, and if they keep going the way they will, they'll sell a lot more too.
So Matty Connell, who takes the kick for goal, and I think that's the sealer, isn't it? Connell gets his first. He's looked pretty good as the game's gone on. 19 kicks for him. 1 goal. 18 kicks, correction. 18 kicks, 7 handballs, 25 possessions and a goal. Pretty fair effort for a player coming back and finding his way.
Certainly is. That's a fine performance for this player. He's a very good footballer. Best and fairest for the Crows, and that was a great kick. And Matt Connell and see Reedy just sitting down has just gone from in front of us, but he'd be pretty happy with Connell's game today. Centre of the ground. 10 minutes gone in the final quarter on ABC Sport. This big game, Glenelg and West. West 16-12 lead Glenelg 10-10. He's not doing much right at the moment. Brooks out there is under a lot of pressure. Gets it away. It's Burke. He goes short. They've got players here now. Scripps it is has got it. Onto the left foot. Drives the Bays into attack. They need a goal here. Up in front. They can't get it. Young Ottens handballs away. Pearce, he's got it in the right forward pocket. Centres it. Goes up. Bartlett's in the right place. Oh, knocked away by Cog, who was good play. It's out of play in the left forward pocket.
Gary, the other player we've forgotten about, out injured for Glenelg, Sean Tasker, new recruit who really hasn't geared up yet for his new club.
Yeah, they've missed him like that was a recruiting coup, everyone thought, as we see Visca sitting there in the bunker. He went off and they've really missed him today. It's Bartlett over the top. Can't get it. Goes to the bottom of the pack once more. They try to shoot it out the back. Bannock's got it, but there'll be a bounce down only about 35 metres out from the Glenelg goal. West 16-12. They've played pretty well again today. They've up and down this mob. I can't work them out. 16-12. The Bays 10-10 at home. Knock away by Thornborough. taken by Andriski. He kicks it out to Carlson, couldn't mark it. Rubenik there with him. He jumps back over the ball. Dempsey there tackling. They can't get it. Carlson's there also. The umpire says, give it here, fellas. We'll have a bounce down. Outer side of the ground. The Bays have really got to do something. They're nearly in their attacking area. They're only
They're giving up.
I think they have. I'm trying to get them up, Mark.
They're
I
waiting for
can't.
the siren to go home so they can have a cold beer and a shower.
They're all over, aren't they?
I hate that. 55 metres out. There's a kick in. It needs a grab here. Big grab. Who's got it? Bartlett misses one that he probably should have taken, and that allowed the Bloods to get away. Bannock's on the end of that. He's got Dempsey. Dempsey, quick kick out of that half-back region. Goes in the Walsh direction. Off hands. Big Coghill's got it. They're running Westies. Big long kick. Goes down to the forward area. Oh, Miller. He made that look easy. That's brilliant play by Miller. He's kicked 4. He's into the open goal. Oh, great finish. He left behind them best players. 5 goals to Greg Mellor, and he's probably sealed it, but that was a brilliant individual performance. Great body work. For any of the kids watching, that's the way to do it. West Adelaide, 17 goals, 12, leading Glenelg 10-10, 12 minutes into the final quarter.
And we might just ask Mark Naley, you mentioned best players. I'm sure Mellor will be high amongst them, Mark.
Yeah, Miller was definitely up there amongst them for his 5 goals, but Eagleton's my best, I reckon, for the afternoon.
My best
He's
as well.
been everywhere. He's kicked 4 goals. Dempsey's been very, very busy early. Also, Matthew Connell, he started right, but Whitney also at centre up back, and he's been very damaging.
10-10 to 17-12. It's a blowout, and I'm sure Alan Stringer will be fiercely disappointed with the way his side's capitulated in this final term. Michael Taylor, on the other hand, I think will be delighted with the way his boys have just kept running, and it might be the platform to build over the next few weeks. They look pretty good in this quarter. Andriski got it from Gilbert. Andriski undecided, almost called the play on, I thought. Umpire looked towards him. Now in short. Mellor, front position, missed that one. Eagleton crashes through Gigney over the top of it, just inside the line. A high ball through and Woosden. Hasn't he been good from defence today?
Certainly has.
Yeah, it's been the best players back for the Bays. David and also Gary. I reckon my best out there has been Thompson. He's been pretty solid all afternoon. King and Gigney in the back line have also been very, very good. And they're all on ballers that have been beaten this afternoon. But Chiggy's tried hard. He set up a few goals. And also young Ricky Hall on the forward line. We see there my beloved Panthers. They're down by 86 points. Norwood, we spoke before about having a bit of youth and experience in your side. They've got plenty of experience in their side for that midfield. They've got plenty of youth as well. They're going to be that side that beat this year.
A bit like Sturt over the last couple of years, they're rebuilding South Adelaide. And I think a new coach and rebuilding phase down there. Oh, Fogden missed that one. Should have been a clean grabber. He had no competition. Brebner, high amongst their best players last year, by the way. Mark Brebner, 4th in their best and fairest. An unheralded player. Coggle misses it. Backdoor Connell, who's still working hard. Pearce tries to crash through. He goes to ground. Brebner picks up the loose crumb. Has time for a bounce. I like the way he's gone about his game today from a half-back flank. And, oh, that was just a shocker. Bad miss by Wigney. Hit the chest and bounced off.
Michael Taylor looks a bit happier today.
Kieran Spawn.
Johnny Cantalactus.
And
Leon Grosser.
All the heavies there for West Adelaide. Certainly some good football brains there, and they'd be very happy with this performance today. They really, I like this about their game. They've run today through that centre of the ground. That's another instance of it. As Carlson on the end of that, he bangs it along towards the goals. He's missed. Miller was in the right position, but that's gone through for the minor score. West Adelaide going on their merry way. 17-13 they are. Glenelg 10-10. 20 minutes gone.
We're just about to start the time on period. It's not far away. You just see at the moment, we're just waiting for the time clock to run down. But Glenelg really have given up. They gave up, I reckon, about the 5-minute mark at that last quarter.
So I think they might find out about it on the training track. This fella hasn't given up. Thompson, one of their shining lights. He'll pick up their best player today. I don't think there's any doubt about that. He slipped as he kicked the ball and he just holds his ankle. So that's not good news. Let's hope he's right for next week. He just gets up a bit proppy. Woosden, who has been solid today from half-back, played as a forward mainly last year, really has played terrifically well. Richardson now finding his feet. Only 3 games for the Bloods after coming over from Richmond. Certainly his second half has been better. Thompson missed one. Raiders off the ground towards the boundary line, safety first.
What all he could do there, wasn't it? And yes, it's funny, the Bays, I haven't seen them this year till now. They beat Centrals down here the first game. Must have been magnificent, the new coach, but been a bit disappointing today. Haven't been able to kick goals. Haven't scored the Bays in this quarter. That's unusual for them. They 10-10 at three-quarter time and still haven't scored anything in this quarter. And that's the way it's gone with West Adelaide going on their merry way. They've kicked about 6 goals. Mellor's got it again. Oh, I tell you what, we've said that a few times today. The left footer, he's only 45 metres out on a 45-degree angle. Just watch his kicking style. These are the lads in that at home. He does it so well. He's a smooth kicker, he's a good mover. It's a good mark for his size too. He's kicked 5 goals, 3 in this final quarter, and this could be number 6. He'll take time, he'll have a look. Watch the action as he runs in on ABC Sport. Banged it, long, goes through. The umpire just sees it go straight over the top mark. No, that's a wonderful kicking action. That's 6 goals to the captain, Greg Mellor. Wonderful performance by him. And West Adelaide go to 18-13, Glenelg 10-10.
It really has been the Bloods last quarter. They really have come out here and taken blood from the Glenelg side. They're not giving it back either. They realise that these games that they play away from home, you just see the stats there, Gary. We'll go through them quickly together. We just see the kicks. West Adelaide in this last quarter have dominated. They've just kicked away. Also, their marks, they're dominated. Handballs dominated. Frees. The hit-outs once again towards the bays.
Yeah, the bays, that's amazing. But it's when it's hit the ground that the West Adelaide side have really taken it away. They've had some really good on-ballers there and across the centre. And with Connell and Drisky, they've all had good movements through the centre of the ground.
Brad Otten's coming off with the blood rule as we wait for a replacement player to come on. Will be Kretschmer. Now, we weren't entirely sure that he was fit, so the Glenelg bench is really struggling, and they're making 2 changes at the same time. Ridgway off, Riley on, Kretschmer back on. 2-for-1 deal. It's a special.
Yeah, the Bays are not that good. They've got a lot of youngsters in there. I thought with a balance of experience they would have went better today.
So a 51-point blowout here. Glenelg getting a hammering on their home deck. West Adelaide looking pretty good in the final quarter as Craig Doddridge puts the ball to ground. From the right, it's Fogden, who's rucked all day for West Adelaide and has been exemplary. McCulley, who spent a lot of time on the bench but's been solid when he came on, thumps it forward. Bannock, who's played out of the middle all day and has played pretty well. Brebner has done very well from halfback, hasn't he, today? Symes, who's been well held by Thompson, couldn't gather that one in. It's been a frustrating day for Tim Symes, and we'll have a throw in at half forward.
23 minutes gone in the final quarter on ABC Sport. Wasn't a bad game for 3 quarters, but West Adelaide in the last are really running away with it. Outer side of the ground. Glenelg try to get it, can't do so. A lot of pushing and shoving over there. Good body work. It's Dempsey again onto the left foot. Drives in the Richardson direction, he can't mark. Heavy body work in there. Cully's got it. Kicks it out to the centre of the ground, and away they go. What can the Bays do here? Is through young Pearce. Drives it into attack. Bounces awkwardly down there for Gigney. He's got it. Oh, pace. A lot of pace. Goes onto the left foot. That'd be a jag if he kicks it. He didn't. It goes straight across the face of goal, but it was a good blast. And that's the first score in this quarter for Glenelg. They go to 10 goals 11, trailing West Adelaide 18-13.
Yeah, Gigney's never stopped trying this afternoon. He's been up in Glenelg's best players. Just seen there, he's been moved up into the forward line. It's a little bit strange this time of the day when you think you're willing to time on period to make moves like that.
Coghill, short, Wigney. He's just settled in nicely at centre half back for West Adelaide after, 4 AFL clubs. Carlson stood his ground, picks up the free kick. We're well and truly into time on as Carlson will kick from half back. Walsh, movement to the far side. That's where the ball heads. Oh, but not required. And doing it pretty well, West Adelaide, as they go forward.
Really well. They're using the ball beautifully now. I know the game's all over, but some good movements out there for West Adelaide.
Now, Gary, I've got to thank you for your commentary. We hope you join us again throughout the year. We've really enjoyed your comments and your commentary today when we've got a word in.
It's always a pleasure, boys. No, it's been terrific fun.
We hope to have you back again, and I'm sure the viewers at home will enjoy your comments. Forthright and honest as they are, Connell gives away a free kick. And take us out this final quarter, your commentator Gary Window.
Scripps kicks into the centre. It's all the Bays. Hall's got it. The Bays have, yes, very wimpish today. They haven't gone on with it at all, but a young side, they'll certainly develop under Wayne Stringer. 18-13 West, Glenelg 10-11. Thompson.
I've got to ask about that word wimpy. Does that mean they were being soft this afternoon, Gary?
I think it just means, that slushy stuff that just gives away under pressure.
Well, I don't know that Alan Stringer would ever have thought that a side that he coached would be described as wimpy and soft.
I think they've got a lot of young kids. It's just the way they haven't gone on with it. I suppose they've got something to work there with, but I thought this would be a big game, and West Adelaide certainly ran away with it in the last quarter.
Well, the first 3 quarters was just fantastic football. Great commitment from both sides. And I suppose given the quality of play in the first 3 quarters, we couldn't have expected this in the final term.
Hall goes long. That's a better kick. He's put that through. That's a beauty. That's a good goal. The Bay crowd go mad. They wanted that. Glenelg get their 11th goal. 11-11. They've kicked 1-1 in this final quarter. That's his third goal. That's a good performance. 18-13 West Adelaide.
Yeah, good goal. A much needed goal. A bit too late in this quarter. Don't have any idea of coming back. But Hall, he took that pretty heavy knock under his chin. It brought a bit of blood out. He's come back on with his headgear. He's never stopped trying also, but just hadn't enough players around him to support him.
So 27.5 minutes gone in the final quarter. Glenelg trail 11-11 to 18-13. McCulley and Ruck thumps it down to Chigwidden. Out of the middle, Bannock kept his head over the top of the ball and now comes up with it. Andriski cleverly thumps it forward. Connell, well, he's running out of puff, isn't he? But he's done a good job today. Scripps cleverly to McCulley, the big man. Fires it towards Thornborough, who's been disappointing today, and takes a mark. Now, Mark, you might just tell us how many marks is that for Thornborough? 8 marks. So he's found a bit of the ball in the air, but really hasn't had the impact that he could have with those 8 marks. And now Rubinick from 35 out on a tight angle will shoot for goal.
You see Fogden there. He's also hasn't played one of his better games, but Rubinick's had 14 possessions this afternoon and 3 marks. He shouldn't have any problem kicking this.
So he stabs at it. Coggle goes underneath it, but it's made it the distance just. And it's through. So Glenelg go to 12-11. West Adelaide 18-13 on ABC Sport.
You've seen being set up here again. Glenelg kicking the last couple of goals this afternoon. The crowd has gone fairly quiet. They realise that the West Adelaide Bloods have won this game and have won it well, away from home as well. And just quickly, Gary, you want to go through the goal kickers?
Oh, the goal kickers there. There's some beauties. Hall, the bloke you just saw, kicked the 3. Scripps and Otton's 1. Rubinick and Burke 1 each from the Bay side. Mellor's absolute sensational game was 6. Eagleton's been another burning player today. 4. And Drisky a couple. So, yes, a very good effort. And it's awful, isn't it, Mark, to lose on your home ground. And that's the worst thing about this for the Bays today. West 18-13, Glenelg 12-11. The Bay's putting on a little spurt now, but there's Brown, takes a good mark in defence for West Adelaide. He's hurt himself when he's hit the ground. The Bay Oval in great condition, by the way. Brown now, it's always been a trier for West Adelaide. Nathan Brown only playing his 4th game. He gets it wide and taken there and handballed away by Wigney. Plenty of good players. Eagleton, long to half forward. Richardson made a bit of a mark there in the centre half forward position. Walsh always a goer. Handball's wide. Carlson can't get it. Thompson's in there for the Bays. Handball away, comes to that play, and he goes onto the left leg, wide to the outer side of the ground. Seconds tick away out there. Chigwidden's got a chance. He can't get it. And there goes the siren to end this game from the Glenelg Oval, with West Adelaide running out easy winners in the end. West Adelaide, 18 goals at 13, defeated Glenelg, 12 goals 11.